This is Roland Campos. After years of living in New York City,
he's experienced it all.
From burgers to bonbons, Roland has taken more than a bite out of the Big Apple. He comes to you today,
ready to rate all of New York City's food.
This is the Food Court.
Welcome to Roland's Food Court, the second show we are having right now. We have a busy show today that I overbooked. Sam said I was a moron for overbooking it. But please call us at 866-969-1969, 866-969-1969 for your questions. Back on the Food Court, we have Carl Ruiz.
Hello.
From Blue Rock Consulting, a.k.a. The Cuban, and the owner of Maria's Italian Specialties.
There you go.
Recently on Triple D.
Yeah.
And then now we have Iron Chef Michael Simon here.
Hello.
Thank you. And Chef Sarma. that shot messed me up.
I just want to skip it. I want to be like Oprah and Cher. And
it's just like someone hit my brain. I'm like,
Melangilis. It's a Latvian name.
And we have Julia here from SiriusXM. She's here to make a cocktail. And pretty soon we're going to have on the phone Randy Gerber. He's going to call in to promote his...
He's a good-looking dude.
And he's calling in to promote his... Oh, there he is. George Clooney's Tequila. And we'll get him really quick. Is he on? Hello?
Okay, now he's on.
Oh, Randy?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Howard. Thank you for calling the Food Court Show.
Sure.
I'll lay the land out here. It's a busy show. We have Chef Michael Simon here.
Right.
Sarma Malin.
Just skip it.
Sarma. And we have Carl Ruiz. He's a consultant.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've been drinking your tequila, so my slurs are going to happen.
Nice,
it's very delicious.
I love it.
So, how do you and George decide to get tequila together?
Well, we were spending a lot of time in Cabo, and we're hanging out at a couple of hotels, and the bartenders were always turning us on to different tequilas, and there was nothing really that great out there. So we decided, number one, to build a few houses for ourselves in Cabo, and number two, to do our own kind of a house tequila.
So do people find it, they want to buy it because of Clooney? Or, I mean, I thought it's delicious either way of who made it, but it's like you and Clooney's been buddies forever.
We've been buddies for a long time. But, no, we did it just because, we wanted one for ourselves. So the fact is we got it out there, but we made it for ourselves. And we've been drinking it for the past 5 years. We just decided to launch it after, all of our friends were asking us to send them bottles, and we were doing that over the years. And then finally, the distillery said, "Hey guys, we can't be sending you all these bottles as samples because you're ordering too many. So you got to figure this out." So George and I decided let's launch it. So we teamed up, with our buddy Mike Melvin and George and I, and we said, "Hey, we're drinking it, so let's turn everyone on to it."
Yeah, it's called Casa Amigos, and it's CasaAmigosTequila.com. I love the commercial with you, Clooney, and your wife, Cindy Crawford.
Yeah, thanks. That was it was pretty funny. That came about after a night of George and I polishing off a bottle of the Casamigos Reposado, and
they should have just called it really good-looking people tequila. We're better looking than you are tequila.
Perfect. Is it true George actually crushes the agave with his feet?
Agaves?
Yeah.
Oh, we all do. We go out in the fields, we pick them, we crush them. Yeah, we're just. No, actually, we work with an amazing distillery. These guys really know what they're doing, and they pay so much attention to it, and it's been something they've been doing for hundreds of years, and so for us it was just important to team up with the right guys, the right distillery in Jalisco, and they created something that we really love. I mean, people seem to love it. We're getting huge ratings. We're getting 5 stars and A ratings, and so we were lucky. I mean, we could get it out there, but the true success is what's in the bottle, and people are coming back and ordering it, night after night. And as I said, the tequila aficionados have all given it like the highest rating.
Yeah. Are you into rum now? The Caliche rum?
Yeah, Caliche, I launched almost a year ago, and that's with the Seraille family out of Puerto Rico. And for me, once again, I just wanted an amazing rum, and so I did this ultra premium rum called Caliche, and this family's been in the business since the 1800s that I teamed up with. They sell 70% of the rum in Puerto Rico is all done by the Sorales family. So I teamed up with the right guys, and it's people are now switching from vodka to Caliche because you're drinking on the rocks, and the same with Casamigos with was tequila. We wanted the smoothest, best tasting tequila you could have, and something that you didn't have to cover up with salt or a lime.
I have a question for you. It seems like you're just mimicking Sammy Hagar. First you're not making some tequila, now you're making rum. Does Sam know about this?
Sammy knows about it. He says, hey man, I've had your tequila. It is off the charts. It's great. Congratulations. And then he said, by the way, and I'm doing a rum, so I'd love to talk to you about it.
But Sammy doesn't have Stacy Keibler or Cindy Crawford.
What the fuck, man?
He's doing okay, though. Sammy's doing okay.
If I want to come back in another life, I want to be you.
Definitely.
That's what I want to do.
All the perks without the celebrity bullshit. You're the best guy in the world.
And a restaurateur, you own whiskey bar. I was there in Vegas. I got wasted many times there and pissed my pants once there. I apologize.
Your wife's good looking.
Yeah, she's sure is.
Yeah, after you drink your tequila, 2 bottles to get a girl that looks like her in my vision.
That's what you should say. You should say, drink some tequila, and then maybe your wife will look like mine.
All right, thank you, Randy, for calling in. Though it's at the Twitter, it's Casa Amigos, and your website is CasaAmigosTequila.com.
Yep, that's it.
Thank you very much for calling in.
Thanks, guys. All right, good talking to you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
And the favor is done. Yeah, we have Michael Simon here, and his Twitter is Chef Simon, Symon, and his restaurant is www.lolabistro.com. It's in the Cleveland area, and he's on ABC, The Shoe, which I love. It's one of my favorite shows. The Shoe. Yeah, it's my Hispanic.
It's all about footwear.
The Latin version. And
everybody kept thinking when I was, because I'm nasally and Midwestern, everybody keeps going, you're on a show, The Jew? I'm like, no, The Chew. It's not The Jew, it's The Chew.
You kind of are.
Yeah. I'm going to make latkes.
Yeah, they run the network, so they can.
You kind of are.
Yeah. How is it being an Iron Chef, though? I mean, is it difficult, though, when you compete against like Bobby Flay, who's a little bit smug sometimes?
Hey, now he's my best friend. Be careful.
But he does want to beat people, though.
Well, he does. Both of us. I mean, we're very competitive people. Bobby's a born and bred New Yorker, so he definitely has that New York attitude to him. But I mean, to me, it's always fun. I've been doing it for 6 years now, so I love the idea of competing. I love kicking the shit out of people. I think it's very fun. Like, your friends come on to beat you, you thump them, and then you get to make fun of them for the rest of their lives. So.
Is it difficult, though, to come up with the recipes on the fly?
Well, it's fast-paced. I think the biggest problem people have is the advantage that you have as an Iron Chef now. Like, I've done 34 battles, I think. So I'm like 31-3 or something like that. But the advantage that we have is I know the kitchen. So, as a chef, you go around, you know where everything is, so you can get to it quicker. When someone comes in to do Iron Chef, even if they have a basic plan in their head what they want to make, they stumble to find the pots and pans where certain spices are. So we get home court advantage, which helps a lot.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We were talking recently about Yelpers with a lot of people. How do you guys feel about them? Because it seemed like a person goes to a restaurant now, eats in one meal, and they said, okay, I'm a foodie now, and I'm going to trash a restaurant for no reason. If the air is wrong, if the credit card machine doesn't work.
I hate Yelp. I think it's the biggest bunch of bullshit.
They should die in a fire.
Does anybody in the restaurant business like Yelp? Anyone? I don't think so.
No.
I laugh. To me, it's like you judge your restaurant by if it's full or busy or not. And even critics, you're going to get food is subjective. When people are spouting off what they feel is good service, I think it's hilarious. On the Chew, like every other week, we Mario and I read our bad reviews on Yelps, like a very kind of like Fallon-esque. We read them very with sexy candlelit music in the back. It's very funny, but to me, it's like a joke. It's like these are the people that if I always tell people, if you have a bad experience in my restaurant, tell me and I'll fix it. But don't not say anything to anybody and then run home and think you're a food critic.
But that's not the same person. They're punks. Right. Like the person that complains on Yelp is the person you go up to the table, you're like, how's everything? Fine. And they get home and, they're like, I have 6 cats. My wife's 400 pounds. You're gonna get it, Michael Simon.
Or they just never left their basement in the first place.
You know what? I didn't make it to Comic-Con this year. You're gonna die.
You're a dead man walking.
You're a dead man.
We had a. There was, I guess, this person on Yelp that bashed us like numerous times, and one of my managers became obsessed with them and kept finding their whatever, however you trace people online. I have no clue.
He seems like a closet Yelper.
And found out it was the restaurateur next door.
Oh my God.
Writing bad reviews
They
about a
shouldn't be
restaurant.
allowed to be anonymous.
I know.
I had a restaurateur next to me call the health department and tell the health department he's way too busy to be doing everything the right way.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we have
Imagine that.
We have a call. Charlie or Eddie from Chicago hates Yelp too. Eddie,
Yeah, how you doing, guys?
doing all right.
The thing about Yelp is you don't even have to have gone to the restaurant to Yelp about it. We had so many complaints at my restaurant that has never even been there.
Right. Yeah, that's what's nice about like Open Table and stuff is at least they had to go to write the review.
Right.
Yeah, if you want to call in again, it's 866-969-1969, 866-the damn tequila, 866-969.
Damn you, Randy Gerber, perfect life guy.
I know, 866-969-1969.
Wow.
Wow. We have a Sarma M here. Yeah. Was Bill Clinton recently visit your restaurant?
Yeah, he was in a couple nights ago.
In the restaurant's Food and Wine?
Pure Food and Wine.
Pure Food and Wine.
Yeah.
Did he make out with anybody?
No, he didn't. No, not this time. No, he's been in. This is his 3rd time in. Last 2 times I was there, but this time I had stopped by with my dog like half hour before, and then I went home and I, very unlike me, didn't look at my phone, so I didn't see the text coming in that he was in because I live right nearby, and but he came in, had dinner, and had a good time.
Was he with Hillary or no?
No, he was.
She needs a little raw food. Actually.
I mean, he looks good though, right?
She slipped on a Twinkie or something and got a concussion.
The first time he came in, that was before he went vegan. So I don't, maybe we had.
He's a lot healthier now than even as someone who.
He's
I could never go vegan, but
don't say never.
Well, I never will. I
thought
eat
that
tons
before.
of vegetables. I eat tons and tons of vegetables. I'll be clear about that.
Yeah,
I eat
next to a
tons of
head cheese,
vegetables.
there's
Yeah,
a slice of head cheese.
I just need it next to a big. There's my.
And his book is called Michael Simon, Carnivore.
We had vegan raw food, and my cookbook is called
I know.
Carnivore.
Now I feel like an asshole. I didn't bring my. I didn't bring my cookbook.
As I look at you, I think you'd be delicious. Right?
I used to go to the zoo, and I used to get hunger pains at the zoo.
You sound worse than Randy just saying, there's the garbage tequila out there.
No, but it's to his credit, he is much healthier now than he was. How long ago? 5-6 years ago. How long ago did he go vegan?
I think about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah,
but he's dating again.
But your book is my Bible, though. It's full of delicious meat recipes.
Thank you very much.
I'm bringing you. I didn't bring my books. I'm going to send you my books.
My book
Be like
my book ain't your book.
I got 2. 2 Trumps.
Yeah, I go SeaWorld. I go medium rare raspberry sauce. SeaWorld zoos are the worst for me. I get too many hunger pains. You recently did create a lace chip for a lace?
I didn't create one. No, we just judged one. It was interesting. I'd never done anything like that before. We
judged at what?
Eva Longoria and I, Lay's had this contest
another
where
ugly person.
Another ugly person. They said you get to dance with Eva Longoria for 5 days. I said I'm in.
You didn't even have to learn how to play basketball.
I've always said for years, as a chef, I eat almost zero processed foods. Never really do. But my guilty pleasure's always been Lay's salt and vinegar chips since I've been a kid with my dad.
That's delicious.
So Lay's salt and vinegar chips and French onion dip. So they asked me to do this contest where they just regular people submitted flavors, and whoever's flavor ends up winning gets $1 million prize.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good contest.
Which flavor won?
But no one has won yet. There's 3 finalists. It's sriracha, chicken and waffles, and garlic bread with cheese.
Ooh.
Which one do you want to win?
Salt and vinegar.
Because it works with other food. How's a chicken and waffle thing going to work with any other food?
Oh, I don't know. I just think it's interesting that people. As a chef, I think it's always interesting flavor combinations that people think work.
Yeah.
So as you're reading all these things, that people are submitting and stuff like that. It's always interesting to think what people think tastes good and what actually tastes good.
Yeah, and I was looking at your OneLuckyDuck.com, Sarma, about it's like full of organic and vegetarian foods. They order even for your pets.
Yeah, the website has our packaged snacks and cookies and snacks and things that we make under the One Lucky Duck brand. It's all raw, vegan, and organic, and also happens to be gluten-free. And then we sell other products as well. We sell really clean skincare and stuff for your house and apparel, and then a growing section of stuff for your pets because I'm a dog person now.
You used to work for Bain Consulting or
Bain Capital?
Bain
You work
Capital.
for Mitt Romney?
I did work for Mitt
That's
Romney.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's funny because people are very snotty about like, no, I didn't work for consulting. I worked for Bain Capital. It's different. But yeah, I did. I worked for Mitt Romney. So
That's cool. Your father went to MIT. He was a physicist.
He worked at MIT for years.
No brains in your family.
My mother was a chef.
There you
She
go.
studied
Should have
with,
brought my taxes in today.
right? No, she studied with Madeline Kamen. I don't know.
I know Madeline
Right.
very well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she was sort of trained in classical French cooking, and then I went to FCI and learned how to make stocks and got really good at butchering and all that. And then a couple of years later, just flipped and went mostly vegan raw.
Those culinary schools. I mean, I went to a culinary school. I went to FCI the other day, and we were doing. We helped the senior students pass their exam, and we judged their food and stuff. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, guys, like, this gets really fucking crazy after you leave here. There should be a course that says, okay, go make $300, work for a coked up guy that's going to black out on you for a month, and then see what happens. Like, there's such a jump from like from the food schools to.
Well, I think a lot. I mean, I'm old, so I mean, when I went to culinary school, it was much different than it is now. There were two of them, and there was no Food Network, Celebrity Chef,
Nothing.
any of that stuff. Like, I mean, there was Jacques and there was Julia and Madeline, but there were few. It was a different time. Now there's probably hundreds of culinary schools, so there's these students coming in from everywhere, and they have this strange opinion, or not even opinion, but thought process on what's going to happen once they graduate. Like I remember we do at Lola we do stages. You have to stage for 2 days, and then they decide whether they want to work there or we want them to work for us. So this kid was in on a stage, and he went to put. We give him like, basic tasks to do, like toast pine nuts. So Derek, our corporate chef, said, "Did you set a timer?" "Oh, chef, I don't need a timer." 5 minutes later, Derek walks by, pine nuts are black. Right. So Derek gets into him a little bit. The kid starts crying and leaves. So I'm like, this ain't gonna work out. So, and I mean, Derek didn't even get into him like
a man would.
Yeah. Like anybody. I mean, like when I was growing up,
because his dad we've had him with timeouts all the way.
Yeah,
to
George Perrier would stab us with meat forks if we didn't keep up.
Somebody cried when I was at FCI during the final exam.
Just started crying.
Somebody broke down, cried. I felt really bad for him, but it was like,
well, you put that.
But Mike, you went to CIA.
I did, but wait, it gets
tough.
It gets better when this was lunch. About halfway through dinner service, the host, they come get me in the kitchen. They said, "Chef, someone needs to talk to you on line 2. It's very important." I get on the phone. It's the kid's mom yelling at me for making their son cry. I'm like, ooh, this is going to be bad. I should have said the kid had him work for Burke. Forget about it.
David Burke is here.
David Burke just walked in. And again, the number is 866-969-1969, 866-1969.
In the corner.
866-969-1969, and we have Murph from Georgia on the phone.
he brought books too. I'm such a bad self-promoter. I didn't bring books.
But you're better looking than any of us.
I know. I'm going to bring books next time.
Murph, go ahead with your question. We have David Burke, Michael Simon, and Sarma.
He's the bartender. He'll get you what you need. What do you need?
Hey, first, Roland, thanks for doing this again, buddy. But for the chefs, it's kind of a two-parter. When I go to a really slow restaurant, sometimes I'll just ask the waitress or waiter, do you mind going back and asking the chef if he can just surprise me? So, one, is that obnoxious of me to do? And two, what are your favorite dishes to prepare?
Michael?
I think it depends on, like you said, the pace of the night. If the restaurant's not that busy, I think most chefs, even when the restaurant is relatively busy, are very happy to make you something special or to make your experience more special. But, you got to kind of get a feel on what's going on at the restaurant.
Right.
I don't know. I like to prepare what's in season. I'm mostly pork. Pork makes me the happiest.
Ooh, delicious.
Yeah.
Nice.
Anything that has anything like a little animal and then you can put sauce, I'm in.
Little animal with sauce.
Yeah.
You guys are
How do you
killing
feel
me.
about little animal? Jump in, be aggressive.
I'm not saying nothing.
You're gonna outlive all of us by 70 years. You might as well start talking about it.
I'm not gonna say anything. If she was ugly, I would be all over it.
See, I believe the Mayans have been fucking barbecue all the way.
Yeah, they did all right.
Yeah. We have David Burke who just walked in. Thank you for joining the show.
The legendary.
Nice to be
The
here.
legend, yes.
How are you guys?
Doing well. I just recently read that your Chicago Steakhouse voted America's best steakhouse.
I think so.
Yeah, in Chicago. Yeah, it's by Travel Leisure.
I didn't. I heard that, but I didn't get the facts. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, they said it was named the best steakhouse in America.
You're very proud of that. Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
We're 7 years old there, and it's good. It's good to stay.
Time goes fast.
Stay current in this market.
And,
I remember when you were at River Cafe. That's how fast time
Yeah,
goes.
yeah.
He was 26, Mike. 26. When
How
he was
old
there.
are you now, Berkey?
51 as of last week.
My wife's age.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was 26 at the river.
do you feel like as you go on, you see like, the guys you mentored in the kitchen now are moving on, owning their own kitchens and successful?
Yeah, I want to work for them now. No.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling to see people, or get a phone call at 3 a.m. Some guy that got 3 stars in Arkansas, and he's drunk with his crew.
In Arkansas.
Or anywhere. I mean, it is a good feeling.
I mean, I recently had your burger at Bloomingdale's. It was bacon, cheddar, caramelized onions, and I had tears when I ate them. It was that delicious.
That won a big award, actually.
I
too.
cried because
Yeah.
you felt that.
Didn't win the burger bash like Michael. But
I ate it and slept like a bear all night long. It's so good.
The best is the first time I met David Burke, I was doing a restaurant about 11 years ago in Edgewater, New Jersey. It's a Nuevo Latino restaurant. I just finished working with Douglas.
yeah.
And I come up to him and I'm like, David Burke, I'm a big fan of yours. Welcome to my restaurant. He goes, my wife likes this fucking place. Not me.
We have
First of all, it was a girlfriend. It wasn't a wife.
Whatever.
I liked it too. What happened was every time I went there, he ran out of pig. He had a suckling pig. I went there for it 3 times, and it was always out of it. So I was a little
out of his mind, mad as hell. Fuck out of here, little fat new shot. I'll stab you in the eye.
But
little Jersey boy.
People don't realize that chefs do drink while they cook. Though. I mean, it's part of the tradition.
Well, you
isn't it?
have to because
People are assholes.
Opening a real restaurant is crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
The pressure.
The best is when I hear people like, "Oh, I only do a restaurant that's perfect and organic and this and that." Meanwhile, the investor that put the money in sells Malaysian babies. It's a stressful thing,
my rule is different. I drank when I cooked until I owned my own restaurant. Then I quit drinking while I was cooking.
That's a good rule.
Yeah.
We have a Rick from Charlotte asking a question. You guys a question.
Hey guys, first off, enjoying the show. I had a question about tipping, but before I get into that, the Lay's contest. I have a friend that works at Lay's, and I don't know whether this was a chip that maybe wasn't one of the finalists. It's not one of those 3, but she hooked me up yesterday.
You're boring us, Rick. Let's
See you
go to
later,
Pat.
Ricky Bobby.
Let's go to Pat in Pennsylvania. Adios, Rick.
Who cares about your
Jesus.
fucking potatoes?
I have a friend who eats shit.
Dude, sell your cat, buy a dog.
Yeah, just go in the driveway and smack your head against the car. But Pat in Pennsylvania, I hope your question's better.
All right, I'm going to try. I just got like a tidbit, a story. I just want you to answer my question.
Lord Almighty. John in Pennsylvania will try him better.
Hey guys, I live in Florida, and we think we got the best seafood there. Where do you guys think the best seafood comes from? Around the United States, what coast or where?
Nowhere. Stop eating seafood. It's not. It's sea life.
On that
seafood.
note, seafood. Each ocean has its own thing, buddy. This isn't Walmart. It's not what best aisle things are on. You know, it's every place has its own thing. Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean. You know, whatever other oceans.
Well, I think a lot of it's and it's also whose hands it's cooked in is often just as important.
I wish SeaWorld opened a restaurant, like a seafood restaurant. They have the product and get the sauces there. Sorry, Sarma.
Sarma's gonna nightmares all night. They stuck me in this room with these 4 meat-eating vultures.
You can tell me to fuck off anytime.
It's all right. I'm used to it.
Yeah. Dave, when you were cooking, did you ever go through any hazing, or did you put the new chefs through hazing?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, what kind of... If you tell a good story.
Well, we had something called Happy Pants. It was your first day, and this is before chef wear came out with comfortable pants. You'd rent pants from a linen company that never had pockets. And at the River Cafe, it was so hot because we worked there. It was a bar. Nobody wore underwear. And there was no pockets, so when somebody's first day, whether it was an extern, male, female, you'd carry a big pot of water, and none of the pilots worked, so you would say, buddy, you know, light the pilot. Matches are in my pocket. And, you know, of course, these days,
you go to prison for that. We used to, at Lola, when we first opened the original Lola, it was like a 6-foot hood and an 8-burner, you know, and whoever kind of did the shittiest job that night had to take the vents out of the hood. That was your job. So we had this kid that worked for us, and his nickname was Meat because he was a little thick in the dome. And so it had nothing to do with his diet. Okay. So most nights he would have to take the filters out because he did something stupid throughout the evening. So he's up there and he's like swishing back and forth. I go, what is wrong with you? He goes, man, chef, I'm so chafed, man. I got monkey butt so bad.
Explain what you do when you get chafed.
So I go downstairs, go in the office, get some cornstarch, get yourself fixed, and quit your whining. So he comes back up, and he goes back up to the vents. He's like, man, I feel great, chef. I feel so good. And all of a sudden, he starts moving really weird. And I go, what's wrong? He goes, does cornstarch get sticky? And I said, the little yellow box? He goes, no, the 5-gallon bucket. I'm like, that was powdered sugar. So all of our, you know, we have a very mixed staff, let's just put it that way, at the restaurant. So they just dove right in. Come here, sweet meat. You are looking fantastic. It was over. It was over.
Yeah. We have a Lady Trucker on the phone. Lady Trucker?
Oh.
Yes, man, that was a sweet story there, Chef. I'm curious, do you guys prepare any food with peanut butter?
Yeah. I was going to bring an hors d'oeuvre here that was homemade peanut butter, made with jalapenos, stuffed inside a date and wrapped in bacon.
Oh, wow.
But I did bring some snacks, but I didn't bring that because I couldn't get downtown. But we use peanut butter in pastry mainly, but sometimes in savory.
Yeah, I read that you do like beer, like Samuel Adams Alpine Spring Donut ice cream sliders.
Correct.
I dreamed about those. How delicious are those? Are they Krispy Kreme donuts?
Well, these are better than Krispy Kreme.
Oh, wow.
You know, these go. And where is Krispy Kreme these days?
In jail.
Yeah.
At the commissary.
Donuts can be. And matter of fact, I ate a Fluffernutter donut at David Burke Kitchen 2 nights ago.
Oh, wow.
Which I thought was
that sounds delicious.
insane.
That does.
How do you feel about Fluffernutter donuts?
I've never had one.
You know, my uncle was on the team at Kraft that created Fluffernutter.
Oh, wow.
Outside of Chicago, which has nothing to do with my being in a restaurant business. But
what does it say when you think Kraft, C-R-A-F-T? That was what first popped in my head. And I went, what? They created?
Oh, you thought
no.
you were thinking Tom Colicchio?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, what? They no. Fluffernutter? No.
I read that you did a fish story about you did a prank on the fish. It was like a fish eye.
Oh, fish eyes, yeah. That was another hazing. This was a big one. We would take the eyeballs out of the fish and put it in somebody's orange juice. And as you're sucking down the orange juice and shaking, it's an eye-to-eye kind of thing. That would actually get somebody to quit. And that made big guys cry. Tile fish eyes are pretty nasty.
We used to put Visine in the drinks of the managers that wouldn't bring us booze in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's
just watch them shit their pants. That was the best. Or the one bartender that would come. The one bartender that would come and eat everything off the line. We would take the grizzle off of steaks and make them look like steaks and leave them there. Just watch them chew on fat for an hour. That was my favorite.
That's fun. We got the number is 866-969-1969. We have Willis in Indiana to ask you guys a question.
Yeah, my fiance wants to cook me a nice meal tonight, and she's got one of those deep pots that has no Teflon coating. She's always had a problem of cooking meat in there and having it stick to the bottom.
Just go to Olive Garden, dude. You're good.
You
got breadsticks, crazy. They got a fried pepperoni lasagna, bang it out. Read the review. There's some old lady did it.
She is a crafter also, and she has like some thick gauge wire on the spool, and she was thinking of making some kind of little thing to put on the bottom of the pot, then put the meat in and the water, whatever she's
No. Is that she's cooking a steak? Tell her to get.
I think it's a pot roaster.
Chef, don't even get into this Vietnam right now, Chef.
Tell her when she get the pan hot first, then put in the fat, then get the fat hot. And when that all happens, make sure the meat is dry and seasoned, put it in the pan, and then leave it alone for like 4 or 5 minutes. And when it's caramelized, it'll just release itself from the pan.
Okay,
Just
wonderful.
had a seizure.
Thank you very much.
Get the fat hot.
And if not, just have some shaved raw
I
vegetables.
could have given her the same advice, even though I don't do that anymore.
Right,
but.
We have a big baby in Alabama.
Oh, God.
Oy.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hello.
Hey, hello.
How's it going, Chef? Hey, Roland, what's happening, my friend?
How are you?
I wanted to ask the chef, what is his favorite?
Which chef? There's 9 chefs in here.
We have Chef Michael Simon, Sarma, Carl, and the chef David Burke.
The one that said he likes pork.
Simon?
He likes cooking pork, preparing
Michael
pork or whatever.
Simon.
What is his favorite pork dish? Barbecue.
You should buy his book, Carnivore, too.
I mean, I love a good smoked pork butt. Absolutely. Long smoked. We make a thing we call Cleveland barbecue sauce, which is stadium mustard, which is a brown mustard with vinegar and chilies. Real simple.
I guess E-Rock would love that with his fat ass. Thanks, guys.
He's one of our producers. He's become Slabo.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's out there somewhere. JR in Atlanta.
Is it ever appropriate to tip 0 on a meal?
Yes.
I've never done it in my life.
Yes.
Week.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Should I? You guys talked earlier. Should I have brought that to the attention of somebody? Because I didn't talk to anybody. I just left 0. I've never done it, and she was awful. It was. And should I have said something to somebody?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. You should have approached a manager.
Did you yelp it,
or
you motherfucker? Did you yelp?
You should have approached a manager or the owner and got them involved right away. Right away.
And most places pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, except I screwed some other people. And she didn't offer to top anything. Yeah, I certainly didn't want to screw the other people, so that wasn't my intention, so I should have
Thank
done that.
you, Oklahoma Bomber.
Speaking of bad service, we have Julia here. She's our local. She's gonna be our bartender here for the night.
I know. I was supposed to be working, but I've just been standing here listening.
Yeah, Julia actually created a drink for today's show. If you want to,
I did, but I've been the only one drinking it. Sorry.
No, I've been drinking it.
Yeah, it's. I decided since we have actually quality tequila, which normally I don't drink of. It's. I just mixed Cholula, which is always delicious because I like spicier tequila drinks. So mixed Cholula, lime juice, a little bit of Saint Germain, and a lot of tequila, and it's delish.
Don't pass them around.
Maybe.
We'll try some of those.
Oh yeah, I'll make a couple of drinks.
Oh, thank you. Ooh. Here's some food.
Got snacks coming around.
Yeah,
I bring gifts.
Iceberg. And the beer we're drinking is from Heartland Brewery. Awesome guys.
Yeah, Heartland Brewery came by and gave us snacks and a drink. And what are you guys' favorite food spots in New York? Like a go-to food spot?
Yeah.
What kind of food?
Any food, like your go-to food. Like if you're just craving something,
Mine's Barbudo.
Barbudo?
Waxman's place. Nice roast chicken, some gnocchi, good shaved raw vegetable salad.
Oh,
I think everybody likes simple food. Everybody assumes I'm going to go to vegan places, and I tend not to. But I like places that have enough things on the menu that I would feel comfortable ordering. Like I like Goat Town. They make very simple food. It's all in that farm to table, and they have enough things on the menu that don't have meat and fish. So.
Oh, nice.
Sarma, I must say, your restaurant. I ate there once. I thought it was fantastic. But
once?
I recommended it 600 times
Oh,
to
thank you.
annoying like vegetarian people.
Nice.
And they've all come back and loved it. You know, they're like, where do I go when I have 900 allergies and I'm not... Go to Pure Food and Wine.
Nice.
It's the only restaurant that's never kicked back to me. Everyone's like, oh, it was great. Good job. You know what you're doing. For you to do what you're doing is unbelievable. Nothing over
Thank
116 degrees.
Yeah, roughly 118.
What the fuck? Everything I do is over 250 degrees.
Yeah, I mean it's a
Imagine that,
it's a totally different environment. There's no stoves, there's no ovens, so
Like that's
that whole
I wouldn't even know what
pressure-
to do. Like say I went back there, like say I brought a bunch of girls and I was single.
Right.
Sorry, Marie. Say I was single and I brought some girls back to your restaurant. I couldn't even make them free food. I wouldn't know. They'd all be eating cucumbers, which actually wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, there's a lot more prep involved. There's a lot of complicated
handwork,
prep involved.
right?
But at the same time, it makes it easier, when it's time for service. It's a lot different when things don't have to be at the perfect temperature and all
So how
coming
do you
out at
put
the same
things
time.
together? I'm so curious. Like, do you have a table with apps ready?
No, everything's made to, everything's sort of made to order, like put together. Some things are kept warm in dehydrators, but there's no ovens or stoves. And obviously, a lot of things are either room temperature or warm, so it's not like the end of the world if it's sitting there for a
Can
minute.
you assemble a dish and then put a vinaigrette on it and then?
Yeah, everything's all done to order, but it's very different. You're not trying to cook a piece of salmon to medium rare and then also do a risotto and a steak all for the same table and have to get it at the right temperature and then it has to stay hot and all go out at the same time. We have a little bit more leeway in terms of if a dish sits there for 60 seconds before it goes out to a table, it's not a big deal. The sauce isn't going to start to congeal or get cold.
I have a question for you. What in the cruelest jokes of all, my son's a vegan.
Oh, nice.
Which is, yeah,
That's so
it's
sweet.
Oh yeah, you're a chef. You specialize in meat. I'm going to be a vegan.
There's worse ways to rebel.
No, absolutely. I love them to death, and it's fine. But what led you to cooking in this man? I mean, like, how did you all of a sudden say, I don't need ovens?
It started as an experiment. It started as an experiment. It was many years ago. I was supposed to go to Jean Georges 66 and Tribeca way back many years ago. This is 10 years ago. And this older gentleman said, "Oh, well, I'm eating a different way. Do you mind if we go to this other restaurant? It's vegan, it's raw." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was pissed. I didn't want to go there. I thought it was going to be horrible. I was, just skeptical. And we went, and it was a lot better than I thought it would be. And he explained the whole philosophy behind it from a health perspective and why it makes sense to eat that way. And I became so intrigued, and I was working with a partner at the time, and I became very intrigued. And I also noticed that this place was really busy. It was tiny. It was really busy. And I thought, I looked at it and thought this could be done. If somebody did this food, but from a culinary perspective, it could be really amazing. And if somebody did it and made a nice restaurant out of it. So I thought about doing that, and then I thought, well, I'm just going to try this as an experiment for 2 weeks. And I thought I'm going to be craving meat, dairy, everything. And no, I felt like a different person. So then it just became kind of a permanent thing. I'm not like 100% strict, but that's kind of the way that I do things.
Can I jump in 1 second?
Yes.
I have a question about your cuisine, but I also want to give a plug for my go-to place.
This salmon
which
with
is
jalapeno.
Peasant.
I love
I was there last night. So.
This salmon is beyond
fantastic.
amazing. It's like I'm crying right now.
The chefs always love simple food.
That was good fucking tuna bread.
Barbuto. It's like really well done, simple food, good ingredients.
Yeah, this is a Burke in the box.
But I only
Burke
go
in
there
the
once
box.
in a while. But my question is the aroma of the food at 115. Could you create aromas? I mean, like, do you create aroma for food that?
Great
doesn't-
question.
Yeah, no, it's just different. You come into our kitchens and it's like sometimes you walk in, it smells like basil or mint or
Right.
other things. You definitely have aromas. I mean, it's not the same as
sizzling steak
like this
coming out
immediate
of it.
like caramelization going on in a pan. You don't have that.
Does that
Everything
still
takes a
smell
lot longer.
delicious to you, though? Like, when you smell a steak on a grill, does that still smell delicious to you, or is it so
No, it does smell good. It smells appealing to me.
It sounds like three guys
my mom,
trying to convince one guy to go back to the strip bar after his marriage.
I'm just
Do you
curious.
still like titties?
Right.
So you don't look at titties anymore? So there's no more titties.
Bro, one dance.
So there's no more titty? Titty's no good? Like, you can just see a titty?
It's crazy because like I said, my son's a vegan. So and like I said, I'm going to be a vegan with you for a month. I'm gonna experience the. I did it.
How was it?
Your book is made out of pig fat.
You know, but here's the thing that I think. He is a vegan because he feels best when he eats that way.
Right.
It's when he feels best. When I was a vegan, I felt like shit. Like
I think it depends how you do it.
I thought I was going to die. No, and I mean, this is a chef unit.
Yeah.
I still took in protein. I did all the right things. I just didn't feel good. My body, I think, like there's that book, Eating by Blood Type or whatever. And I think there's truth to it. Like, my body needs meat. And when I was a vegan, I was exhausted. I didn't feel good. I was very gassy. That was some crazy stuff. Like Carl.
Barbecue pork doesn't do that.
But I mean, Lizzie was like, I've been with my wife for 20-something years, and she said, either get off the vegan diet or get another bedroom in the house. Like, this ain't gonna work. You know, it was just, but he feels great on it. He's never felt healthier.
Yeah, I think everybody's different. I mean, when I was younger, my mom says I used to chew on chicken bones and eat eggshells, and you know, when I was little, it was like I loved anything on a bone. I mean, I was
so
weirdly
hot.
and then
Right behind you.
I mean, I'm a strange vegan because I love.
Burke? I mean, there's nothing like a not fat girl saying something like that. Because like we're chefs, so you have to understand. Like the girls that like us are gross. You're like, oh my God, you smell like your food.
I am a totally beautiful wife. I don't know what you're doing.
Hello.
I'm just saying, on the road.
Yeah, don't say that.
Yeah,
That's
if you want to call in, it's 866-969-1969. And we didn't ask you, Mr. Burke, how do you feel about Yelpers?
Oh, that's a good question.
We all hate them.
We all hate them. By the way, Chef Burke, you can say what you want.
They do love you, though.
Listen, everyone has their opinion. I think Yelpers are the least seriously taken opinion social media people, at least in my organization, and I think amongst chefs at a certain level. But people need to be, if you can learn something, good, but a lot of the snarkism and all the bullshit that goes with it is not necessary. I mean, if you want to put yourself in a restaurateur's shoes for a couple of days and be a critic, you'll change your attitude real quick, you know.
Yeah, how do you guys, each of you, I mean, you guys played all the food you guys play is like art. How do you guys learn that? Or just like, do you have like a mindset if you cook something, it's the way it's plated, or just film?
I think it's changed a little bit. I think years ago, 25 years ago, plating and creativity and architectural cuisine and the combination of certain ingredients and, you know, the finesse of a dish was much more important than it is today. I think sometimes you look at a dish, go back to art culinaires, and like, man, that looks so boring.
Right.
Or like, it looks like, wow, it took two guys to make that, not one. And I still think I love presenting beautiful food or whimsical or whatever you want to call it, but it has to be sensible. And things are cyclical. You know, bistro food, nouvelle cuisine. You see hints of nouvelle cuisine in molecular gastronomy. Right. And you know, when you're old enough to have seen, and that's 30 years in the food business, you realize that stuff's going to come back around too. You know, to be able to throw a pork liver on a plate, which you had last night at Peasant, was very good, with some prosciutto and center the plate and it's delicious. And so, you know, things come and go. You know,
well, and I think too, David. I mean, you were, you know, for those that aren't, I mean, to me, you were the king of that food. Like
the angry lobster.
I mean, well, all those. Like I used to tell people,
angry lobster. Isn't it funny? Like you say to David Burke, like, oh, what's up? You know David Burke? Oh, he's the one that
angry
does
lobster. See, I say swordfish chop. I don't say angry lobster.
I say swordfish
Some
chop.
people say lollipops.
Yeah.
Some people say pastrami.
I say
salmon.
swordfish chop because
But you were the most copied in the 80s and 90s, the most copied chef I think in the history of New York. Like I used to go to Jean Georges and I'm like, wow, did Bert take over the kitchen here? But and I mean, he's an amazing chef. I'm not taking anything away from him, but not. I think food has changed a lot, and now, like, you know, Waxman, my favorite chef, two of my favorite chefs are Mark Vetri and Jonathan Waxman. There's no pizzazz in the way they plate. I mean, Waxman, it looks like he tripped in the kitchen and the food fell on the floor.
But it tastes good.
That was awesome.
You know, it's like, oh shit, oh there it is, here you go. You know,
God,
but it's
finally,
always,
it took an Iron Chef to say it.
but it's
that's
always
his thing,
delicious,
too. That's
and it
what
is
you
his
expect.
thing.
It's-
But it wasn't always his thing.
No, when he first came to New York,
From
at
Michael's,
Lamb's,
remember the beet fan, the carrot fan. Right.
But you know, he's a great chef. He knows how to cook.
Right.
He knows what people want.
One legendary story of David Burke is when he was at the cafe. I had someone that went to dinner there, and they still remember it because they said, we all had an oyster dish, and there was 6 of us. And each one of us had an oyster with a different presentation. Is that true, Burke?
Yes.
That's fucking psycho.
You know, back then we used to keep.
Imagine that.
We have a 50 Cent DJ here. Is Who Kid?
Right here.
And he's not really a foodie. He's an
idiot.
Yeah, an idiot with food.
What are you talking about? I went to Nobu yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Duh. You
Pardon?
think I'm a nigga or something? What the fuck is wrong with this guy? Yo, you trying to be like black people? There's so much white people here.
I know.
I usually see like 1 or 2 guests. I've never seen more than like 10 white people in here, and my show is fucked up. Not niggas and strippers over there.
You want to say something crazy? She used to work for Bain Capital.
Yeah. No way.
From Miami.
These are
serious?
real white people, the real ones.
Yeah, you're like the Illuminati or something.
Yeah.
Man.
Very white bullshit.
Oh, man.
We're
Give me
shaping,
some money.
We're shaping the future.
No, I had a great day. Today's B.I.G.'s RIP because he died on March 9th. So I did everybody called, like everybody that dealt with him or whatever. So then I see you guys eating food. Like we don't even have that next door.
No?
We got extra.
We have extra. We have David
Got
Burke.
wine. We got Ciroc in here.
David Burke and
Diddy, you owe me.
That's a bad though.
Opie told me you're surviving. You're not going to get fired. So you're good.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Do you have a food question for? I mean, these are all the top chefs here.
I see. The winners, what, like the
no,
Iron Chef situation, or they just like.
Michael Simon is an Iron Chef.
I'm Honey Boo Boo's personal chef.
Oh wow! Get the hell
David
out
Burke
of here.
is a great chef. Beyond. So, what's your favorite fried chicken then?
Oh my God! Put a fucking cape on.
Racistly,
What the fuck is that, Roland?
yeah, he's my nigga. Yo,
It don't matter. That's gross.
Cinco de Mayo, yo. But my favorite fried chicken is Blue Ribbon. Blue
Blue Ribbon makes some mean fried chicken.
That's like the high, like
That's
high class black person chicken.
You ever had Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in LA?
In LA, yeah. It's I just don't like rappers being there trying to kill me, but I love it over there. There's always a rapper that wants to kill me.
Imagine how I feel going there.
There we go. Now we're getting ready.
I brought my wife there once. She goes, "But what's going on?"
Yeah, it's like, man, niggas in here. The game is in here.
Yeah, I walk in. I'm like, "Oh God, please let one people recognize me. Please God, let people person recognize me."
But you know what's crazy? My wife, like back in the days, Matsuhisa used to cook for her family because my wife's father is like an ex-oil guy. So Matsuhisa, who is a partner in Nobu, he works at the not the Nobu here, but the Matsuhisa is the first
you
restaurant.
money. You don't even have to be good at this radio shit.
Nah, my wife is cheap, man. Cheap bitch.
No,
She's Japanese, so
He travels the world with 50.
He's like the Will Smith of DJs.
He is.
I'm just not gay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're gonna go to another call. It's Harvey in Chicago.
We're live. Shit.
I don't know. Harvey, you may speak.
Or not.
Or
Harvey in Chicago or Harvey in Buffalo?
Well, you tell us, motherfucker.
You guys are gangster, yo.
Harvey in Buffalo, so I guess it's me.
Oh God.
So anyway, my question, I agree with Yelp steaks. I travel a lot, and I'm always trying to find an interesting restaurant, whatever city I go to. Sometimes I use TripAdvisor. Sometimes I talk to hotel staff. So that's hit or miss. I'd love to hear from any of you guys. Like, how do you seek out really interesting places when you travel?
I mean, I think a lot of us just have a network of chefs, but I think Zagat still is a pretty good guide, and I think Open Table is a pretty good guide.
I agree. I think Open Table is the new Zagat. I mean, because people also they have to make the review. they have to be there to do the review. So I agree. Don't go to Yelp because it's a bunch of cat owning
Assholes.
Of shit.
They're dick in the ass people.
You know what?
But we were just told. I mean, we could go an extra hour.
Or you can call David Burke, and David Burke will tell you, and also tell you, don't ever go into his pants and get matches to light a pilot, because you're going to have a handful of veiny.
They told me we could go. They told me we could go an extra hour if you guys. We could break.
Yeah,
and
we'll
then
take a
come
break.
back. If you
Let's
guys want
do
to do
it.
an extra hour, it's up to you guys.
I'm cool.
Come on, Simon, stick around. Party.
I'll stay for a little bit. Yeah,
All
I'll be here for a little bit.
That's awesome.
I can do a half.
Okay, half. That's perfect.
We'll do a half.
Well, good, because you were 45 minutes late.
We'll take a break right now. You're listening to Roland's Food Court. 866-969-1969. We'll be right back.
The Opie and Anthony Channel on Sirius XM.
After 9 years on Sirius XM NFL Radio, Adam Stein is heading to Mad Dog Radio.
Hello. We are back to Roland's Food Court. Opie told me to go another hour, and we just bumped Eric's Tune Show. Sorry, man.
He's literally outside in the hallway.
I know, but Opie's this is his studio. So I'm gonna reintroduce everybody. This Michael Simon. The Twitter is at Chef Simon SYMON, and www.lolabistro.com. If you're in the Cleveland area, we have a lot of Cleveland fans. Go. You will not be. It's amazing food. Also, see him on the shoe on ABC.
The shoe.
It's about footwear.
And shoe.
It's the shoe.
Roland,
I'm
he
Mexican
has
and drunk.
600
I
more
don't know.
restaurants besides fucking Lola.
Oh, I know. He has like tons
a
of
restaurant on Jupiter.
I know. Lolita, Rose, Bar Simon, B Spot, all in the B spots in the new
And
Cleveland
the
area.
gangster one in Detroit, which is my favorite. Best hotel ever.
We have Chef David Burke. It's at Chef David Burke is his Twitter, and www.davidburke.com for all his info. And we have Sarah Milling.
Sarma.
Sarma.
No, and then skip the last name.
Sarma. Her Twitter is at Sarma, SARMA. Go to oneluckyduck.com. And also Pure Food and Wine. You can see where she's at. She's at 54 Irving Place, her restaurant. And her book, Living Raw Food, is to pick that up. And we are back, and we have Who Kid here. DJ Who Kid from 50 Cent, right?
What up?
What's up? It's a Saturday night. Is it usually busy in your restaurants? I mean, every Saturday is busy though. But who do you guys leave in charge while you're gone?
I have a lot of people that have been there for almost the entire. We've been open 9 years, so I have some people who've been there for.
Do you guys get a
8+ years, and they don't need me. If I go there tonight, I'll go there, but I'm probably more in the way than anything. I'll get in their way. They take care of everything.
And my dad owns restaurants he owns a restaurant in Arizona, and he's always there 24/7. It feels like it's like a marriage.
Well, it's like, dude, you start trusting. Like we have about 1,000 employees now.
Wow.
But our corporate chef's been with me 17 years. The number 2 guy in our company in the kitchen's been with us 14 years. So I'm still part of all the creative process with them, and I'm in the restaurants all the time. But I go on the line. They're like, "Chef, get off, get out of my way."
Chef Simon, are you ever worried that they're going to leave and fuck you and go do something else?
No, I mean, we've had people leave. Most people that have left have opened their own places, and to be honest, I've helped them financially open their own places.
That's very gangster style.
But
I want to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I always feel like here's what I always tell my main guys: we take very good care of them. We give them a little bit of sweat equity in the company, and if they're going to open their own place, it's they're not going to be able to live a better lifestyle because of it. It's just purely 100% passion decision. Because as all of us know, when Liz and I opened Lola, 16 years ago, we paid ourselves $18,000 a year each the first year. Yeah. We ate at the restaurant not because we thought it was delicious, because we had to.
Right,
we couldn't afford to eat anywhere else.
So I opened my restaurant working with my wife. Is that the craziest fucking thing you can ever do?
Yes.
Is open a restaurant with your wife?
No, for me it was awesome.
Other?
I mean, we worked together before
Yes.
we were together.
Right? Isn't it crazy?
See, my wife's a sommelier, so we worked together before we were together. She's front, I'm back. It's easier. We've been together for a long, long time. But
my wife is a cyclomier.
Yeah. But it was easier. Like at the restaurant, I know like my job's to cook the food, your job's to make everybody at happy. When we first got married, I didn't know what the roles were. You know what I mean? It wasn't like the restaurant. There wasn't like this division of power kind of thing.
Yeah, we have a question from Cliff in Arkansas. Where Clinton's from.
Am I a good kisser? Does my sister like me?
I didn't swallow. Cliff.
Yes. I'm going to be coming up there to New York City during Thanksgiving week.
Bring money.
With my whole family. Yeah, I've got money.
Don't come with a nervous wallet. Come with money.
Where should we go for a Thanksgiving meal in New York City?
My place.
Yeah.
Come to David Burke's.
If you want a really good, listen, I'm going to go to Dave Burke Townhouse. It is decorated by Thanksgiving for the holidays.
I went there last Thanksgiving.
And it's really a nice experience. There's certainly other great restaurants to go, but it's worth the plug that I'm plugging my own restaurant because the other place that is closed that is really nice for Thanksgiving is it's closed now because of the hurricane. Is the River Cafe. Because of the view and the whole and the piano playing, et cetera, et cetera. But if you do come, contact me and we'll make sure. I'm there. I go to all my places on Thanksgiving. They're all open. But that is the one that has the best feel.
Okay.
I send people to Bar American on Thanksgiving too, and I haven't been there, but they've always said
and that's
it was
a great location too for sightseeing.
I had brunch there this morning.
Brunch is good there.
And I had the brown I had the brown derby. The Murray, is that what it's called? Kentucky Brown.
Kentucky Brown. Brown Derby's that shitty restaurant chain. There's like peanuts and shit on the floor.
So listen. The first time I had it, I was fucked up. Right? I was in Kentucky for the Derby.
And the third.
And then I had it the second time here at Bobby's place, and it was good, man. I enjoyed it. It was turkey and bread. And
we do Thanksgiving, too.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, talk to me.
No turkey.
What do you roast?
We don't roast anything.
I'm about to
but we
Yelp
do.
the fuck out of here.
Right?
I'm going to go on Yelp. I've never been there. I'm like, I can't understand why the turkey was 116 degrees.
You gotta get it's turkey spray.
Where do people go if they don't want to?
Wait. He's got a flavor spray.
Yeah, he's got bacon spray.
You spray on women too. Like,
Now, wait, I got to tell you, there's pretty much nothing you've done with food that I haven't loved and respected.
Thank you.
When you sprayed that shit into my mouth the one time, I ran for cover. The first two were good. Berkey, you went like, oh, taste this one. Okay, that's good. Taste this one. And then I can't remember what it was.
Parmesan. Parmesan doesn't translate that well.
The last time I had sprayed like that was at a strip joint in Roosevelt, Long Island.
The Parmesan got me. I couldn't remember what it was. I blocked it out.
Well, the herbaceous ones and the things that are aged like that, it's hard to get.
It smells like sideways pussy, man.
Wow.
Oh my God. Was that bad? Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, but how many sprays do you have though? You have like the
right now we don't have any.
Oh, you don't have any?
Well, I wish I brought some, but we'll relaunch those in the future.
Well, make sure you spray them
It
into
became
Michael Simon's
complicated
mouth.
with a distribution, and it was but it's a great idea. I mean,
What are they made of? I smelled
Here
the
we go.
bacon spray once.
They're made of
somehow.
natural flavors, sometimes artificial flavors.
Cue the
Well,
jaws music.
bacon is actually a process. It's not a pig. So you can actually, we made kosher bacon flavor.
Wow.
Because flavor, it's just a flavor. It's a process, like barbecue. Barbecue it's just a process. And, it's like perfume, but you're using food flavors.
That's a new thing now for white people to spray each other in the mouth.
Yeah.
It's been happening for years. It's a hazing thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I never seen that. I've been with rich people and shit.
It's a new.
It was a diet. It was a diet product.
Jesus.
Yeah, we have a pirate trucker. Again, if you want to call in, 866-969-1969. Go ahead, pirate trucker.
Hey, Roland. Hey, Who Kid. I'm
What
just
up?
sitting here. I'm making a roast with turnips.
In your truck?
Parsnips. No, I'm at home now.
Okay, good.
And I just turned on the radio, and the show is going awesome, Roland. Great job.
Thank you. Booze. Hello.
Spicy.
Moist.
That's it. Just
Oh, that's it.
keep
All right.
going.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have David in Rhode Island. Go ahead, David.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I guess this question's more for Chef Simon and Burke. How do you guys feel about the current push away from factory farming towards like more sustainable meat production, like pastured
with
pork and poultry?
I'm thrilled with it. I'm thrilled with it, and I hope that government actually gets behind it more, gets behind the small guy more, and away from some of the factory farming stuff. I mean, that's just my opinion. You know, for it to go bigger and global, it needs to be more supported by our government.
Yeah, and I agree, but once that happens, sir, don't start bitching. The chicken is $29 fucking dollars.
No. It won't
But
be,
it
though.
should be, because it won't be subsidized.
No, yeah, exactly. But if
Subsidized by who, though?
But if the government
Taxpayers.
spent as much money supporting the small farms as they did some of the factory farm stuff, it wouldn't be nearly as expensive to get it out to a larger group of people.
I think the key is the lack of waste. If they can save food from being wasted, then we're in good shape.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the small farmer versus the big farmer, if the shit's going to rot and people will be hungry, then it doesn't make no sense.
Doesn't matter. But I'll tell you what, man, going to one of those fucking chicken farms when the chickens don't have beaks and they're walking around with 1 foot and all cramped in there, it'll make you never eat chicken. I'll be eating it pure every night.
It's like South Jersey.
I gotta tell you, I'm so starstruck listening to Burke. He can say something completely crazy, and I'll agree with him. I think Casey Anthony would do the right thing. I'm like, okay, well, it's David Burke. I mean, he must know more than I do.
Chef Burke, did you ever have to cook during like the blackout or during the fire?
This is a great story. Well, during the blackout, the one in 2003, I was opening David Burke and Donatello. So I know it happened in August. It was a hot day. I was driving my car. I was 15 blocks away from which is David Burke Town. That's not right.
What kind of car? Did you have a 74
Mercedes.
Trans Am?
Oh, shit.
Because that's what I picture. I picture Burke driving around in a T-top Trans Am.
No. I had a gremlin as a kid, Mike. I saw one on a movie last night. I was freaked out. And you can tell the movie was shot in like the late 70s.
I would love to see Burke in a Trans Am.
I finally got to the front of my restaurant. It delayed us about a month. We had no food, but we put older people in my car because we had AC and information. But I cooked at the Food and Wine Festival in Miami 2 years ago, and I did a dinner in the dark. Everyone was blindfolded, and the waiters wore night goggles.
Eyes wide shut.
Sirius XM. The download.
That's your board op, Roland.
I think he made a boo-boo.
He's also working in the dark.
Troy pulled in Iraq.
Yeah, we're back though. We're good.
Anyway, I'll make this quick.
Oh no, we're good. We're good. It's just a quick slip.
So there's 120 people eating with blindfolds on in the dark, no cell phones, and to go back to the aroma factor, I tried to burn herbs so they could smell the rosemary in the lamb dish.
I've been doing that for
not
years.
realizing the smoke.
Talking about.
I put the smoke alarm off. So there's 120 people blindfolded, and they had to evacuate the building. And I'm trying to convince them, hey, everything's cool, man.
It's just a small fire. Keep your blindfold on.
You know what? I kept most of them in. I started doing some stand-up comedy, and talking about saving the world with corn and stuff. And we lost a deuce, but it was it's pretty interesting to pretty stupid to not think about the smoke in a hotel. I mean, it closed down. It closed down. Every restaurant and every room had to start evacuating.
Wow.
Good thing, and that's called the sous chef's responsibility because I sure wasn't taking the blame.
We have a Phil in New Jersey with a question. Go ahead, Phil.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi.
I just wanted to call up. First of all, Roland, you're doing a great job, brother. Sound great. Everyone sounds great. Who kid? What up?
What up, kid? What up, nigga?
Going on, brother? Trizzy won back in Paisley, baby. So
I'm
it's
sorry.
all good. Mr. Burke, I just wanted to ask you, what's the best way to cook a tube steak?
Oh, wow.
Faggot.
You know what?
I do it, guys. I'm sorry. The caller is the guy that's
I would stick it straight in your ass, and I think you're good to go, though.
And that comes from an Iron Chef, you big fatso.
I think you need a cleaver first.
And your mother.
Yeah, and your stupid wife. But anyways, Chris in Maryland, go ahead.
Holy shit.
Chris?
Yeah.
This better not be a crab cake question, brother.
No crab cake questions. I know how to do those. I'm a good Maryland boy. Well, my question is, I'm going to be in New York City next month on the Rube in the big city. Is there a couple of restaurants or places you guys could tell me to go that a Rube would fit into?
Bowlmore Lanes. They have a lunch special.
Hey, I wrote the menu there years ago.
I know. Busting your balls, Bert. It's fantastic. You can bowl, everything, get your free shoes, the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll just go to Rick in Brooklyn. We'll pass this question.
What's an average like nightmare customer? Like they come to your restaurant. Is it a celebrity or is it a regular? You ever had a douchebag that's like too ridiculous?
Oh God,
too eccentric.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, I just think the biggest assholes are typically the ones that are the most insecure. It's just like regular life.
Not the gay people.
So
the
they
gay
come
people
in.
are cool.
No, we love the gay
great.
people.
Okay.
That's a restaurant dream.
We love the gay people.
That's a restaurant's dream.
Okay.
Double income, no kids. Restaurant dream.
That's awesome.
Drink good wine.
That's crazy.
Yeah, unbelievable. So
I'll have the Chablis.
But it's people that come in. They want to impress whoever they're with, so they start talking shit. My best story though in the restaurant wasn't a guy that was an asshole, but it was hilarious. Comes in New Year's Eve, it's a set menu, so it was, I can't remember what it was. It was like $120 a person, kind of thing. So he orders. It said $120 a person for food. Wine is additional. Yeah, I can't remember how it was worded. So he goes on into our wine list and he orders, throughout the course of the evening, 3 $600 bottles of wine. And then, so I'm like, shit, this guy's the best customer of all time.
Oh, God.
Yeah, baller. So then he gets the check and it's for $2,000. And he goes, I thought it was $120 a person. I go, what do you think? You just come in, you can order as much expensive shit as you want, and it still costs about $20 a person.
What a loser. You serious?
What
Did he pay?
What happened?
I charged him.
Did he pay?
Did he pay?
Yeah, he paid.
Yeah,
He still
He
works.
paid or I was gonna
He still
break.
works for Michael.
You just, look at Berkey still thinks I'm from Cincinnati, but in Cincinnati you could get away with that shit. You try to walk on your check in Cleveland, I'm taking off pieces of your body.
Let me ask. I got a question. I got a question for Berkey. Burke, you've been around before the internet, before the bullshit, before people like celebrities had to be nice.
I think before phones and television.
That's fucked up, Simon. That's fucked up. Don't be a hater.
I've been around before remote control. Okay, let's say that.
Don't be a hater. That motherfucker's got a restaurant in Bloomingdale. So you've been around before that. What's the most fucked up pre-internet Yelp TMZ celebrity story you have?
I'm going to tell you a story, but I'm not going to mention the celebrity.
That's okay.
That's classic.
We'll
This
figure
is
it
a
out.
hot, beautiful woman that's pregnant. Before she comes
Taylor
in,
Dane.
This is about 9 years ago. She walks into my restaurant. We don't allow jeans at this point. Only in the bar and the mezzanine area. The dining room is,
in the mezzanine area.
And the guy comes in and he has jeans on. So we don't. Him and his wife. And he's obnoxious. First of all, he abuses my hostess, who's like 19.
All right, so
which is the worst.
Is this
customer.
the first time Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston?
I'll get to it quickly. We put him in the mezzanine area. There's no seats in the back. This woman walks in with jeans. She's got a pashmina wrapped around her. She's with her date. And we have an open seat downstairs. Not because she's a celeb, but she's got jeans on. She's probably 3 months before she's showing, right?
Wow.
He's walking. She has to walk by. She has to walk by this guy. He gets up, and he's like, what the fuck?
It's my prerogative.
She can walk in with jeans, but I can't walk in. She takes her jeans off right in front of him.
Oh.
Takes his
Live the way
pants
I
off,
wanna live.
hands them to him, and says, "You mind checking these for me, youngster?"
Get the hell out of
She
here.
wraps a pashmina around and walks in the dining room, and the whole room started clapping.
What?
Except for this guy's wife, started slapping him. It was a great story. I mean, I bought her dinner. I'm like,
I love you, Bobby.
I just wanted to sit next to her without the pants on. No. I thought it was very smart.
We have a call, Rick from Brooklyn. Go ahead, Rick.
Great show, Roland.
Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to ask the chefs. It's like a two-parter. First one is, what is your comfort foods, other than what you make at your own restaurant? What is it that you actually like to have? And the second one is, it's pretty much for like Chef David, I guess. Is there a restaurant that you go to in New York City that nobody knows who you are? You just walk in, you sit down, and you really like that restaurant?
Chipotle.
First part, you know what I got to say? My comfort food is an Italian hero.
Yeah. Mine's my mom's lasagna.
Yeah, it's just I'll have that when I'm sick, even though you shouldn't be eating sandwiches. But I mean, that's,
nothing says fix your cold like hot peppers and salami.
Hey, it works for me. I do have a couple of restaurants. There's one called Tiella. It's on the east side of 64th. And
Why the
1st.
fuck would you do that, Burke? Now it's fucked. Now there's going to be a bunch of creepy foodies in there.
24 people.
Like
24
Trekkies.
seats.
Like
well, I
Trekkies.
went in there about 6 times and finally I got nailed by another customer. And
What?
And she
Then he came back the 7th time.
In a wetsuit.
Hands
Okay,
down.
Was that the Pashmina girl?
It's my prerogative.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And we have Brian from New Jersey. Go ahead, Brian.
Holy shit.
Hello.
Hey, Roland. Great show, buddy.
Thank you.
Chef Simon, I don't want to discount the rest of you guys, but I really want you
He's
to
more
tell
famous than all of us.
me. I had tickets on Monday. I didn't show up, but I would like to know how you cook bone marrow.
My favorite way to, I mean, it's delicious always anyway, but I like this bone split. And we have a wood burning oven at Lolita that burns at about 800 degrees. I just sprinkle with a little bit of sea salt in the wood burning oven, and then top it with stuff that's kind of bright and acidic, like parsley, pickled onions, pickled ramps, things of that nature, with some grilled bread. I'm rolling.
He just scored 100 on foodie card. Everything was perfect.
Michael, you know what you got to try?
Delicious.
You got to try ants on a log.
Ants on a log.
Bone marrow with snails on top.
I love that.
And like escargot sauce.
Right.
But a little more.
Oh, that
acid,
sounds
but
delicious.
Same vein. I mean,
Sounds like something I had to wear a fucking tuxedo to
That's
eat.
a great.
Well, you can
Come
try
on,
the
bitch.
next
We're going to go eat.
45.
Well,
I love that's a great idea.
You didn't call your ex-husband this week. We're going to go have ants on the
Yeah.
lawn.
Wow.
We have a Pat from Florida. Hello, Pat.
Hey, what's up? What's up, who kid?
What up, kid? I'm cooking that chicken.
This should be a
I got a
telethon.
question.
You're being awful quiet.
Yeah. You got to wake up.
No, she's like, I'm avoiding this like the
I
plague.
don't, bone marrow? I don't know. What am I going to
And Dave
offer?
Burke's like ants on a log.
I mean,
Well, they have broccoli bone marrow too.
I mean, women get nervous when my penis is in the room, so I understand. What?
What?
It's a hot, it's a big sausage.
My
What?
wife is here, dude. Chill.
Oh, shit.
And
Sorry.
she's shaking.
Put on your pashmina.
Go ahead,
It's my
Pat.
prerogative.
Sorry, Pat.
Go ahead, Pat. What's your question?
Live the way I want to live.
Is there any way in hell to make eggplant taste good?
Yes.
Sarma.
Sharma.
Yes, there's a lot of ways to make eggplant taste good. Although it's funny, we actually don't do a lot with it because we don't cook anything. And I think part of it is
Break the
like
slap chop out.
You got to like salt it and treat it in many different ways to get it to soften up. But yes, but once it does, it's like a really good kind of meaty, toothsome
My God.
thing to put in between bread or whatever.
Jesus.
Stand
I
in
can
for
listen
people
to
who-
her read the obituary.
Stand in for.
She
places
had
where
me until
meat
she said
otherwise
make it
was
soften
big.
up. And then when she said make it soften up, she just lost me.
I was the complete opposite. I was like a 4-year-old dreaming about saving her from a burning building at this point.
I'm still hard from bone marrow, but Mike from Phoenix. Go ahead.
Ants on a log, bitch.
Mike, go ahead.
Hey, who's in charge of Guy Fieri's wardrobe? And is Chef Ramsay, is he a poser or is he for real?
Hey, we'll look at big baby.
Not you or anyone in your family, hater.
I don't know. I don't know who does Guy's wardrobe. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, he certainly has his own style.
Yeah.
No one goes, I wonder who that is.
You know what?
I
You know
can
what?
comment on.
I won't hate on anyone that makes over $500,000 a year.
I want to see what you say about Gordon, because I certainly have my
Gordon,
opinion on him. He does. I mean, he does food in 2013 that is very similar to your food from 1987.
No, Gordon,
I love it.
Hey, listen, man, I take that as a comment, but
It is
I worked with Gordon in Singapore for Singapore Airlines.
Right.
15, 18 years ago, and the guy knows how to cook. There's no doubt about it. I mean, amongst the best cooks out there. I mean, he's certainly gone in a different direction with TV, but Gordon knows how to cook.
Right.
There's no doubt about that.
The one thing that bothers me about Gordon is in a business that I think really tries to change on a regular basis, he brings that anger that I think a lot of this generation of chefs, everybody sitting at this table, has tried to get away from. We all worked for those people, and I don't.
We were some of those people.
Right, we were some of those people. And then,
If you worked for me back in the day. You showed up with a pack of cigarettes in your pocket. Your pocket was gone, half your coat was off.
But Chef Simon, Chef Burke, I mean, I understand that, but at the same time, like. That's the way we grew up. Like, I watched that show. That's the way that we grew up. Some guy blacking out, right or wrong, blacking out. We had to learn, but when this guy, when we were coming up, there was no publicist, there was no this, there was no nothing. We were just a bunch of cooks. You went to CIA, right?
Well, it's a very gritty
You know how
business.
crazy that was? You know how mean those half a good chef
the good
instructors were?
Yeah, the CMCs were
mean. And those are the ones you talk about. So,
but I mean, it's a different world. But
it is a different world, and I'm glad that I was part of both of them.
Also, when you listen, there's an issue with people, and I know I'm taking this in a different direction, thinking that cooking is glamorous.
Right.
And it's not.
It's not at all.
I mean, if you get to a certain level, it can be certainly glamorous. The key word is it's hard work, and it's fun, and it's creative and inventive and satisfying. It's not glamorous.
No, I mean, David,
it can get glamorous at a certain. It's like acting or waiting tables or doing. There's very few people that get to a glamorous part of this. I mean,
I'm 2 years away from knee and hip replacement, and believe me, that's not from doing the chew.
I think it attracts a certain type of personality where it's like there's some sort of element of, I don't know what the right word is, like punishment. There's like the grit of it. And, why are so many chefs and cooks like very heavily tattooed? It's like there's something about the kind of like grit and hard work. And not in my kitchen, but in others, sort of like the fire and the heat.
Yeah, but a lot of these new chefs get tattoos before they get the stripes in the kitchen.
Yeah, I think it's totally different now.
I was at Food and Wine Festival in Miami this year, and I'm looking at all these new guys. I mean, first year, second year, apprentices to big time chefs, and they got arm sleeves. Like, do not fucking tattoo a knife and a fork on your arm unless you've been in it 10 years, you fucking puppy-kicking faggot. Like, it takes a long time. Like, live for food. Bro, you graduated in 2013. You small little pussy.
He still has loans.
Yeah,
but you guys still have the toughest job because every night you have to bat 1,000.
Yeah, you have to bat 1,000.
Every
People are very
night.
critical.
The only job. Because, I mean, our job
after this show.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's a tough job.
Yeah, I mean, people are, but they should be. Like, I always tell people, if you don't like something in the restaurant, that's what you should tell me right away, because you're paying, you deserve the right to be critical. I'm not going to say I always agree with the customer's opinion, but I'm still going to try to make it right because that's part of what it is.
My dad said, do you think that because someone pays $24 for your entree, they even feel what it took for you to get that entree?
It's not the point. They don't give a shit.
Exactly.
My point, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't have to. My point is, as a chef and a restaurateur, my job is to make sure that the customers that come into my restaurant leave very happy.
Absolutely.
It doesn't mean, some people are foodies and they care exactly how everything was done and this and that, but most people say, I don't give a shit. I want to know why this was just, I ordered it, I tasted it, it was delicious, I left happy. That's it.
They need the perceived value and expectation has to be there.
Right.
And it doesn't bother you. It doesn't bother you, Chef Burke and Chef Simon, when someone says, "Oh, Michael Simon is too famous now," or "David Burke is too famous." You guys don't care about the restaurant. What does that feel like to you?
Well, I've been lucky. I was very lucky. I knew Berkey when I was younger, and Bobby, and Mario, and Waxman, and all those great people that came a little bit before me. And, Bobby said to me once, he goes, let me explain something to you right now. When I started I started doing Food Network in 98. And he said, the more successful you are in this world, the more people are going to fucking hate you.
Hell yeah.
And if you could live with that, you're fine. If you sit there and then computers come out, if you sit there and read everything that's written about you and posted about you and this, that, and the other shit, you lose the goal of what you're trying to accomplish.
Listen,
so
I agree with you. I grew up with the Food Network. I grew up loving David Rosengarten and all those guys. I grew up being the assistant to Alex Garcia when you were doing Melting Pot back in the day. That's
98.
old school.
Shit.
You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
I was
I'm like,
Are
you doing Master Chef 5?
I remember that shit.
I'm like a guy carrying records for Run DMC. You know what I mean?
That's
so
crazy.
I know you, and I know you forever.
But it's like anything else. If you're proud of what you do, if you believe that what you're doing is right, then you do it, and you can't worry about what some jerk off says on Twitter.
No, you don't have to. What you're doing is good.
On Yelp and Twitter, I listen to the customers in my restaurant.
I got a great example to answer your question. I was at Drew Near Point. We flew to Toronto years ago before Tribeca.
I liked him better
opened.
when he was fat, by the way.
I read in the USA Today, top 10 best and worst dishes in U.S. I had the worst dish in the USA. And, Drew, he's like, showed everybody on the plane. Right. That's him, blah, blah, blah. I'm devastated. Before we printed our own menus, etc. I'm in Toronto trying to find a chef for Tribeca Grill with Drew. I changed my menu. I panicked.
You found Don Pintadona?
No, it's pre-done. Pre-done. That was good. And I come back. Monday, New York Magazine comes out. Best top 10 dishes in New York City. My worst dish in the USA was the top #1 dish in New York. So, don't believe anybody.
No.
Believe what you do and just go for it.
No, and but guys like you and all those people say, read it. Whether it's the best review you ever seen, the worst review you ever seen, the best critic, the worst critic, whatever. Read it and stick it under your desk. Like, throw it away, get rid of it. Because it's if they sit there and they say you're the greatest thing to come along since sliced bread, that's not all true. If they say you're the biggest idiot to ever come along since sliced bread, that's not always true. So you got to believe in what you do.
I understand, but I try to pave the way for chefs that aren't as big as we are yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard. Like, you need these Yelp things. You need all this stuff.
And it's also
because you got to break into it. We all need investors. Everyone in this room has an investor, from Jeffrey Chadrow to yada yada to yada yada yada. You have to do it.
Ching ching.
Yeah, we have a call. Kim from New Jersey. Go ahead, Kim.
I want to say I'm a huge fan. And I just have a quick question because I cut my finger on a mandolin this past week.
I'm going to go take
What was your worst?
On that note.
All right, we'll go to...
the worst what?
I don't know.
Kitchen injury.
I took the tip of my finger off with a bandsaw once.
Look at this.
That was my worst. Same one.
I think everybody, I took the tip of my finger off with a mandolin slice.
Showing a half-grown-in fingernail that I completely took off with a French knife without losing the tip. But I think the worst is burns. Burns are the worst injuries, unless you lose your finger on a bandsaw or something. But a burn,
they put it back. Just the tip. They put it back.
They can.
It grows back.
Right.
I thought I was going to have a permanently disfigured. I thought it was going to be permanently disfigured, and no, it grew back.
It would have been your one flaw, your single
All right, but
flaw.
do you know why it grew back? No, do you know
all your vegetables,
raw vegetables?
No, no. All right, after I sliced the tip of my finger off, okay. Some guy's like, oh, it's like, when you get stung by a jellyfish, the best way to heal anything is what?
Pee on
Soak
it.
it in your own pee.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
I did that
Jeez.
at a table, and I sat at a table with John Whitehead, who was the former chairman of Goldman Sachs, and we sat there, and little did he know I had my finger in a cup of my own pee, and it grew back, and I don't know, you can't tell that.
No.
Wow.
I'm missing an ear.
If it happens, if you have a mandolin injury, pee in a bowl, put your finger in it, and everything's going to be all right.
Jesus.
Yeah, we have a big baby on the phone. Whatever. Hello?
Yes, sir. This is Big Baby again. Loving the show, Roland. I'm a slobbo myself. And who cares?
What's up, man?
Hey, what is veal, and how do you cook it?
Veal?
What is what?
Veal.
Veal.
Baby calf.
It's about a 12-week-old. Is it 12 weeks or 16?
It depends.
You know.
It's all in that bad. Vicinity,
I'll
12 to
answer your
16.
question. Most cattle or steak, they live to about 12 months or 14 months. A veal lives about 12 weeks. So it's a baby,
And then
baby.
dies.
I mean,
Horrible.
So the idea is that
Delicious.
veal is very tender because they barely walk
Because
around.
they're so sad.
And that's what veal is. Veal is a young cow.
It's like a meaty.
Baby.
It's like a meaty
They're
abortion.
eating a baby.
With the good sauce, though. It's worth it.
Yeah, it's
Do you, Mr. Burke, do you do tours of your dry meat places, though?
Yeah, I just came
Ooh.
back from Chicago. We have a United States patent on dry aging beef with salt, which we got about a year ago. We started in Chicago. We have it in Foxwoods, and we have a restaurant in Rumson, New Jersey, that does the same aging process.
Very good place, by the way.
Do you give tours of the?
Yeah.
Oh,
we
wow.
have Pat LaFreda's is dry aging
Is it
beef.
the Himalayan salt that you do, David? Yeah.
We build a wall out of bricks.
Oh, wow.
Kills bacteria. It saves it lets the bacteria that dry ages beef continue. And we have a piece of meat that's been in there for 6 years that has not rotted.
What? Wow.
I mean, it's basically become jerky, but in the purest essence that you could ever do. The salt we use is the same DNA as the human body.
Psycho.
And it's really it's an
Hannibal
interesting
Lecter
concept.
opens a restaurant. Hello, Clarice.
What's the best steak in your opinion, though? What to order?
A free steak, mother.
Listen, for me, depending on, I think a ribeye is the fattiest, juiciest steak. But I think the best steak I've ever eaten is a sirloin. It just happens. It depends on where you are,
Where and how.
But I think for me, like in general, like if ribeye is consistently the best.
I'm with you,
ribeye
Chef
has
Simon.
more marble.
Ribeye is the way to go.
Porterhouse is way overrated, in my opinion. You get a little bit of both.
Yeah, but it's got that shitty fillet connected to it. Ruins everything.
I love ribeye because it has that little eye of fat in the middle. It's like a fat person breath mint in the middle of your eating experience.
We have a question for Mr.
great
Burke.
idea, actually.
Eric from Jersey City.
Hey guys, you're doing a great job. I have a point and question. First of all, to Mr. David Burke, I've gone to the Fromagerie several times. It's one of my favorite restaurants in the world.
Thank you.
Secondly, this question's for Roland. Why was I bumped today? I was supposed to be doing.
Oh,
I was supposed to be doing the second hour, and I had Pat Duffy all ready to go.
It was our boss, Opie. So we'll go to Justin in New Mexico.
It's Biggie's birthday, so Biggie's death holiday.
Yeah.
So birthdays are the worst days. Now we ship champagne when we thirsty.
Literally.
Go ahead, Eric. Or Justin, Tom.
I just lost a customer. Thank you.
My question is, I just acquired a rabbit, and I'm going to start doing some meat rabbits. I'm wondering what is your the suggestion for cooking rabbit, and what's the best way to introduce it to people who haven't had it?
Ask Alice.
Don't tell them it's rabbit. I mean, the loins and the tenders are super lean, so typically you got to wrap them in something fattier, like bacon or something of that nature.
Would you guys agree that you have to, half of the animal you have to cook one way with rabbit and half the other way? So it's either grill or braise or bake or braise, or anyone that tries to cook a whole rabbit, unless you're in fucking Lord of the Rings, it's going to taste like shit.
No, it's like cooking a whole turkey, but
right.
I think there's simple ways of doing the dried loin meat, and playing with a rack is too much.
No,
but
it's
leg
never
meat
too
is
much,
stewed, loin meat. But you can make if you treat the loins like veal, like salt and boca, and do something simple like
delicious.
that. You got or even a cutlet, a
it's
rabbit
fancy.
cutlet. Bread it like a chicken, like a schnitzel, and do a rabbit schnitzel, rabbit cutlet, rabbit Milanese. I think you'll have more success.
That's why he is who he is.
Jay in Jersey, go ahead with your question for the chefs.
Hey, Jay. Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Hi.
Who kid? What's up?
What up, son?
Hey, I want to ask the chefs, what's the benefit of having the customers sit and eat in the kitchen? I've heard of this, but I'm not sure why do that.
No, I think for a lot of customers it makes it a more enjoyable experience. Just depends on the customer. Like at Lola, we have a table right on the end of the kitchen. It's not in the kitchen, but it's like on the end of the service. And there's some people that love sitting there. Some people hate sitting. They want to watch the show. You know,
it's like
cooking's
a
a show. Yeah.
You know, one of the advantages is I opened one in '92 at the Park Ave Cafe, but it was enclosed, air conditioned, 10 people. You get to know the people. They call you directly for reservations. There's a connection. It's like doing a cooking class every night for people.
Right.
So if you're doing 75 people a week, if you're there every night and you get to know them, there's a way of cultivating that into VIPs.
What happens if the guy that's running the 10-seat party is an asshole, douchebag, rich yuppie motherfucker?
We have a curtain.
That's like, do we have Matt in Cincinnati? Go ahead, Matt.
Connecticut?
Or Connecticut. I can't read. Matt, wherever you are, speak.
Hey, oh yeah, we're in
This question's for Michael Simon, imagine.
Guess not.
Are you there, Matt?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, basically, about 30 years ago, I was a kid. I was about, 13, 14. I really wanted to be a chef. I mean, at the time, I could cook. I mean, hell, I roasted a duck.
At 13?
Yeah. I mean, I was into it. And
there we go.
And then I actually met a chef. and over the course of our
and he had a white panel van?
Yeah, right. No, over the course of our conversation, it was about 30-minute conversation. He completely talked me out of being a chef.
So he must have been really good at what he did.
He was actually, yeah. He was really good. He was one of these New York chefs. This was before, being a celebrity chef. Before he could be a rock star for making a pancake. And it was eye opening. I mean, he basically was like, look, I mean, if you like food, just keep making food. And he basically said, look, it's a really, really, really hard way to make not a lot of money. And I was like, okay, so I just kept cooking. And I cooked for pleasure.
Is there a question?
I mean,
no.
What's that?
No. Thank you for your life story. I understand. Thank you. I hope it gets made into a movie.
Let's see if Ben from DC has a question. Ben?
Hey, how's it going? My father-in-law killed like 8 doe this last winter, so we have just a freezer full of venison, and
Awesome.
I've made meatballs, and I've done I took a roast and everything, but I still have another 2-pound roast. I'm looking for something different, something original. Can you give me any ideas of what to do with it?
Roast it while you listen to Sean Hannity.
I think you should. I think you should look into carpaccio and tartare, and you can do that and cut it while it's frozen.
Wow,
Yeah,
tartare.
You think doing a tartare is I mean, even though you think it's, I'm a little nervous about.
It's a gamey, isn't it?
With meat.
I also love taking the bigger cuts like that they've been cut and making it into jerky.
Yeah,
I think it's delicious.
No, but this is
oven
stuff
dried jerky.
because you don't have to cook it. You can make it in batches and freeze it. Tartare, get creative with tartare with venison, with cranberries and juniper and some cool. Tartare is like making your mother's meatloaf. Just play with it.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, what do you guys for the chefs? How do you create a new recipe though for your cookbooks or for your restaurant? If you're seasonal, I know some of your menus are changed.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's just, we work a lot like at Lolita Roast. We work a lot with the farmers. We look at products, and then for me, it's a team effort. Like there's 6 or 8 of us that we make stuff, we taste it. We does this work? Doesn't it work? I try to give the younger chefs that are now helping run the restaurants in the company some creative freedom, because I feel for the restaurant, the way that I think of it is for our restaurants to grow, all of our restaurants to grow. It's great to kind of be inspired by the younger, newer guys too, because it brings your stuff into the new generation. Like Angry Lobster, it's a great historical David Burke dish. But the young guys sometimes make you think a lot about different things that maybe you didn't think of things that way. So we do it as a team, and then but at the end of the day, I have the ability to drop the hammer on it or not.
Let me ask you a question.
That's having veto power.
It's not a
is
democracy.
Key.
No, it's not a democracy.
Having veto power is key.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
you do this whole pure food and wine thing, right? So that's fantastic.
Thank you.
What happens when you work for Bain Capital, whatever, you get the real world, right? What happens when you get some asshole, weird, hippie, vegan person in your kitchen that thinks that you're not a purist, that you don't know what you're doing, that you just did this for the money? What do you do with those people?
In the kitchen?
Yeah.
Well, they don't usually end up in our kitchens. I don't know. We have a lot of people in our kitchens who've worked in traditional restaurants. Particularly, we did that with pastry. It helps a lot, I think, for people to have worked with food in a lot of different ways.
Right.
And then they come to us and take everything that they know, everything they've learned, and then use the ingredients that we use and the techniques that we use, and then very often come up with new techniques, which is kind of exciting. So what we're doing is a little bit different. But, you know, we definitely... The restaurant was created for everybody. It wasn't created for people who eat vegan and raw. It was created for everybody. So I try to avoid anybody who's kind of very militant and crazy about it.
I was talking to Roland the other day, and we were hanging out, and we were talking about Yelp reviews, right? So I Yelped your restaurant. Awesome. Came out great.
Oh.
And then there was this one asshole that says... I went to Pure Food and Wine.
Couldn't get a steak.
Simon, listen to this. He goes, the place was beautiful. The service was awesome. But my lasagna wasn't hot.
Was that recently?
I don't know. I read it.
Were they joking?
Yeah. No, that's serious. My lasagna wasn't hot. I should have known. My girlfriend brought me to a pure vegetable place, and he gave it a fucking star and fucked up the Yelp review.
Damn.
Whatever. I mean, you know.
What a fucking
fuck Yelp.
man cunt. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Who does that?
But like that's the thing with Yelp. It's like you can't, you know. Occasionally somebody has a legitimate. They had a legitimate issue, and the thing is like you can actually respond to them on Yelp privately and say, look, if you had a problem, let me know, whatever. But a lot of times people just say.
But and the people reading the reviews, I think, know that here's a guy that didn't know what he was getting into, and he's just a little bit ignorant. I got a joke for you though. Do you know vegan's an old Indian word?
Yeah.
For bad hunter.
Seriously?
It's my only vegan joke.
Do you guys have any cookbooks on the horizon coming up?
You can go on, Berkey.
No.
Yeah. I do.
When is it going to be released?
I have another one. Carnivore came out this November. I have another book coming out next November. It's based on a segment I do on the Chew. It's 5 and 5. So
I love that segment. You did Chicken Francaise last time.
Yeah, so 5 ingredients in 5 minutes for under $5 a person.
Yeah, that's great. And you do like side dishes and all that at the show.
Yep.
What do you have coming up in
Subway? Yes. I was going to call it Subway, but they said it was already taken.
I got a cool meat question. I just came from Brazil. How do I trust those kind of restaurants where they bring like all the meats and then they give you like the map of the cow?
By the way, I like the way you throw like you just came from somewhere.
Yeah, I was
I just came from being massaged by 100 women. And I got a meat question.
I don't know any Brazilian spots in New York. I've never been to one. Only when I go to Brazil. So how do you trust like every part of those?
My favorite place. It's called.
Shouldn't be a problem.
It's called Rice and Beans.
Okay.
Brazilian place is called Rice and Beans, which is on.
It's real. Is that real? Is that a real spot?
It's a real place.
Okay.
Man.
Okay. I thought you were fucking with me. Man.
I fucking with you, man.
It's a good name.
You're like a celebrity, man.
But I mean, are you afraid to eat certain parts? Is that what the problem?
I'm not afraid, but I just find it like I never thought about it because they just keep coming around, and nobody.
Oh no,
really...
you're talking about churrascarias like that.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
Oh, for real?
That's gross.
Oh shit.
Like, well, are you serious?
I don't think it's gross.
It's called like a medium well palace. Like, you want to eat the worst that every meat can give you?
It's like Brazilian dim sum. Bring it out.
Is there a spot in New York where it's like official, like every part is on point?
There's one on 46th Street.
Listen, go to Medieval Times if you want a show. If you want Brazilian food, I'll talk to you.
Okay.
But I mean, when you go to Argentina, I mean, those kind of places, though, it's done very. I haven't been to one in New York, so I can't comment on it.
Brazil.
No, I'm sorry, Brazil. But I had a brain
But
fart.
also, but
I was
how do you
thinking about
know?
Argentinian.
That's what I'm saying.
How do you know it's not horse? You don't know. It's like with fish. It's like 60% of the tuna is not real
Well, in
tuna.
America,
If you're in
there's no-
Dubai, where the hell they
I
get
think-
the,
I think-
where they
I
get the
think-
fish from in Dubai?
I think no chef would disagree.
That horse is delicious.
I love it. I went to IKEA. I went to IKEA the other day, and after that
IKEA?
whole thing, and
The
everything was
restaurant at IKEA? You had horse in IKEA?
They do.
They have horse in IKEA?
How
They
dare
do.
you?
Oh,
Not here.
sorry, man. I'm sorry.
We'll take one more call. Joe in Jersey, go
I
ahead.
apologize.
Go ahead,
You
Joe.
must respect my
Thanks for the
authority.
question.
You're our last caller of the day. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I have a question for the young lady there. Are you opening a restaurant in Parsippany in the early spring?
In where?
Parsippany.
Parsippany,
No.
New Jersey.
No.
It's beautiful. It's exit 132.
Really? Should I check it out?
Don't go there. You'll get like ticks or something.
No, hey, come on.
Yeah, hey.
Jersey's rock and roll, man.
The call
No,
girls are
we're in
cheap, man.
Manhattan.
Okay, all right. I just sort of signed for a new restaurant, and I thought from your conversation it might have been you, but I'll catch you in Manhattan then.
Yeah, please do. We'll be here.
You got a stalker, yo. I think he's stalking you, yo.
You smell like lilacs.
Parsippany.
I'm wearing David Burke bacon stuff.
Wow. That was
Well
awesome.
done.
That's just a start.
Sprain my mouth.
Stop.
The people who are opening restaurants, what's their biggest mistake when they try to open a restaurant, though?
Open a restaurant.
having chairs with cloth on them.
Under
Sorry.
budget. Yeah. Cloth, yeah, cloth.
No, we have chairs that we have cloth, like they're nicely upholstered chairs, and I have nightmares about chairs.
So, I mean, decor-wise, there's a gazillion things that can go wrong. I think the biggest mistake is not having the right people in the right place, or not having, when you have a few places you can cultivate like a team and go do something a little nicer. It's still, there's always going to be mistakes. It's like creating an album or something like that. There's so many moving parts in a restaurant. Like we mentioned earlier, opening one is probably the hardest thing you can do. To open 2 a year and to try and continue to do it, it doesn't get easier. It doesn't get easier. Your mind just takes a little breather. It's like, okay, I'm not going to stress out about the coffee cup as much as I did.
Well, and even when you do reputable, like the B spots, we've done 7. And it gets easier, but it's still...
It's easier because you're trusting people.
Right, but it's still... we opened 4 last year. And, I mean, that was a lot. It put a huge strain on our company with 1,000 employees to fall back on.
Wow.
So it's still brutal.
So, guys, I mean, I think it would
The
be
name
fair.
is very important, too.
I think it would be fair for everyone listening that wants to open a restaurant, because that's why they're listening, most people, is say, I opened a small restaurant in New Jersey, right? So it cost me $80,000
and don't
to get it set up, right? But it cost me $160,000 to get it up and running.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real number.
That's crazy.
It's your investment times 2. And then go open a restaurant. But every time you get somebody who's like, oh my God, I watched a movie with Christian Slater and he was a chef and I got $45,000. Go fuck yourself.
Well,
Go work at
open it
somewhere
even
else.
80,000. Listen, you can't open a restaurant for less than several,
yeah.
$2-3 million.
No, I'm talking about 750 square feet.
Yeah,
The
2,500,
smallest
just to put it in perspective, a 2,500 square foot burger joint.
Give me the numbers.
It costs us about 1.2 to open every one.
Damn.
For a burger joint.
That's like disco.
Plus the resources.
That's like
you already
shiny
put in,
disco.
Oh, yeah, not counting all that other stuff, but 1.2 every one.
How much was for the statue in front with you in it?
The Rocky statue.
It was given by charity.
Is the first year a loss in any restaurant?
No.
deal?
The first 6 years are a loss. No, are you kidding me?
It just depends. You can't worry about. All right, you put the money in to spend it. The first year's a loss if you think you're going to pay back 1.2.
Yeah.
And Lola cost us $5 million to build. So it all becomes relative, and you have to make a realistic chart of when debt service is going to get paid back and when all that thing is going to happen.
You got PR, you got reviews, you got economy, you got weather.
You have hurricanes.
This,
So you can't.
I'm like a weatherman now that I have an outdoor garden.
Yeah.
I know how many days it was over 90 last summer.
When I watch the news and those guys say, "Don't go out of your house, it's really snowing," I'm like, I'm going to find that guy, and he's in deep shit because I'm outside and there's no snow, and this guy's telling America to stay in their house.
You got to understand, like it takes over $5 million to open a 300-seat restaurant. It's crazy.
Well, unfortunately, we're running out of time, so I'm going to get the plugs in. I know, we're going to plug in real quick.
That's
We
some
have
bullshit.
Michael Simon. His Twitter is at Chef Simon, SYMON. And you could go to his website, lolabistro.com, and also ABC/The Shoe.
I'm not nearly as angry
And
on my
choose.
Twitter site.
And we have Chef David Burke. His Twitter is at Chef David Burke. And his website for all information is davidburke.com. And we have Sarah. Sarma, I'm sorry.
It's only been 2 hours.
I know.
Yeah, it's not like we haven't been here since fucking 4 o'clock. What the fuck, dude?
OneLuckyDuck.com. You get to Sarma's restaurant at Pure Food and Wine.
I gotta go eat fennel now because you were such a dick.
54 Irving Place. And you can buy her book in Amazon, Living Raw Food, right now. And also
My
Randy
wife
Gerber.
hates fennel.
And my Twitter, I have a good vegan rant going on right now at Sarma.
At Sarma. And Randy Gerber, who called in, it's
Sexy.
at Casa Amigos. And thank you to
Randy Gerber living the dream. Oh my God,
thank you to
Meredith
Who Kid.
Crawford.
Thank you to Sam, who works 7 days a week. Thank you for coming in. And thank you to Troy Kwan.
Moisture.
And thank you to Opie for letting me do the hour and bumping Eric. And David, Eastside Dave show's next.
The Davey
and,
Mac Sports Program.
Yeah. We're done. Slabo! That's it. Bye.
Good night.
They should have never gave you
The food court is closed.
What I do know is there was a party in here on Saturday. I don't know if you guys tuned in. When's Roland's show going up on demand?
I'm guessing today.
Well, I would hope today because it was a party. Roland came in here Saturday at 5 p.m., 2 days ago, and he tore the house down. He walked in. He had I don't know if you saw it on my Instagram. I posted a picture at Not Sam. There were 20 people in this tiny little studio. You always hear Opie and Anthony talk about how cramped up the studio is. Roland packed 20 people in here. He had a table full of food and booze for whoever wanted to have some. He had 5 chefs in here, all just shooting the shit. And Roland just conducting the food court. He was the guy. He was the Mac. It was the return of the Mac is what happened.
Well, that's an old one.
That's right. Opie showed up. I was here. Troy was here. Opie showed up. And Opie didn't even get to go on the air. Who Kid? DJ Who Kid from After Opie and Anthony Live. He showed up, and he was on the air. What is this, Return of the Mac?
Yeah.
Now you're just getting excited with 90s hip-hop.
Why not?
It's bringing you back to college radio days?
Golden era.
No. And, I mean, everybody loved the show. Let's go to JT in New York. JT,
Sammy, sweetheart, what's up, brother?
how you doing?
First off, Roland, a sleeper cell, fucking knocked it out of the park.
Killed it.
Sat in my car after I parked, just listening to him. Well, not really. Listening to fucking say one word every 4 hours, but still.
But this is where Roland was so smart. He filled up the room with these entertaining personalities that have been chefs for years, and they're all famous chefs, and they're all out of their mind crazy.
Unbelievable.
And Roland piped up every, 12 minutes. Roland would pipe in with one sentence, and then let the room go. And it was great. It was great.
He would pitch them underhanded, and they would just consistently knock it out of the park.
That's
It was
right.
Really impressive.
Well,
And then,
yeah.
just afterwards,
Mhm.
can we talk serious for a second?
Let's
Just for a
talk.
moment.
Let's talk.
What is there a pool going on in regards to when Dave's going to be found dead in his own vomit?
Why do you say that?
Because I don't know if it's a gag, but he seems like he's fucking way off center and he's hurtling out of control.
Well, yeah, he's a maniac. Dave came in here, and the Dave that you heard on Saturday, thank you, JT, was stone cold sober. I mean, that's just Dave every day of his life. Dave followed up Roland's food court because what happened was Opie was here, and he was off mic. He didn't come into the studio, and goes, he tells Troy, who's in the other room, Troy, this has got to go on for another hour. I mean, this is great. And we had spoken to E-Rock, and he hadn't committed to doing a show as of Friday afternoon. And he wasn't there yet. He wasn't in the building yet when we saw him. So he hadn't committed to doing this thing. So we had nothing. We hadn't promoted anything. We hadn't scheduled anything. So we were like, okay. And then I slipped Roland a note saying, dude, he probably had 3 minutes left in the show. I was like, you can go another hour if you want. And Roland goes, yes, I do want. And we took a break and we did another hour. Unfortunately, immediately as we're announcing that Roland's food court is going that extra hour, Eric comes walking up the hall unaware that he's just been bumped.
No, we heard.
Because he was going to do a surprise show. And he brought his friend Giddles, and he brought Pat Duffy, former intern Pat Duffy, MVP, Hall of Famer, first candidate, crazy man, insaniac, Pat Duffy.
Mm-hmm.
What was the show going to be?
There was a bunch of different stuff we were going to talk about.
You're not going to tell me?
Oh no, I may save some of it for the next time if I do it.
Are you going to do it?
I think next time I'll do it.
You see what happened. How did it feel, Eric? Doesn't Pat Duffy live in Pennsylvania?
Close to it.
How did he get here?
He came over my place and then I brought him in.
Oh, so how far of a drive is that for him?
Wasn't that far for him to get to my place.
Still, an inconvenience nonetheless. How did it feel to show up here and find out that you'd been bumped for a second hour of the food court?
Honestly, it was fine because I had not committed to anything. I said I didn't want to do it. Then around 3 p.m. on Saturday, I was like, you know what? Rather than playing a rerun of something, yeah, I'll go in and do it.
But it couldn't have felt good with your friends there with you.
Well, they didn't care. They were just happy to be up here.
You bring Pat Duffy cared, okay? This is a guy who's wanted to get over for so long.
Yeah.
And every time he thinks he's got a shot, somebody just comes and swipes it away from him. You dangle it right in front of him, and he's like, I'm not going to reach for it. I'm not going to be a sucker. I'm not going to reach for it. No, seriously, dude, just reach for it and you can have it. Okay, I'm reaching for it, and then they pull it away. Pull it away. You can't have it, buddy, you sucker. Why would you reach for it? Why would you do that? He wasn't feeling good. Giddles, your friend who we don't really know, was probably sitting there being like, first of all, why is my name Giddles? And second of all, I thought Eric had some pull around here, and now he's getting bumped for a food show?
Oh, Giddles didn't care.
He didn't care.
He was watching the whole circus of Roland's show. He was just amazed by it.
Who Kid was here. He witnessed Eric get the bumparoonie. Have you ever gotten bumped off a live gig, Who Kid?
Hell no. Yeah, Eric, man, where's he at?
He's in there. It's humiliating, isn't it?
I mean, Eric was cool with it, man.
But do you think he really was, or was he a little like, oh, God?
He didn't get called to get bumped. He got bumped on some organic shit. He didn't get bumped because he's whack. He got bumped because it was like,
yeah, but isn't that worse? Like, wouldn't you rather get a phone call that says you're bumped instead of
he was already up here.
It doesn't matter. I wasn't committing to. I didn't commit to doing the show at that point anyway.
But instead of showing up and being like, I'm here to do my show, and then everybody's like, no, you're not.
They give you the fart sound like, wham.
I would think it had to be humiliating. Did Pat Duffy say anything to you?
He wasn't humiliated. He was
no.
happy.
If I was,
he didn't want to do it anyway, did he?
If I had committed to it and there was promos and everything running, and then they did it, then yeah, I would have been pissed.
Yeah,
that would have been great.
I never said yes to it. So
why don't you do it this weekend? Why don't you take the 2 hours yourself?
I can't this weekend. I'm not around.
Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be helping out some family.
Doing what?
House stuff from Sandy.
Personal shit.
Sandy's over.
Yeah, but the damage isn't.
Yeah, it is. I look at my neighborhood. Everything's fine.
Well, yeah, you weren't on the coast.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't believe you had David Roth up here, man.
David Lee Roth was up here for 2 hours.
Van Halen?
No breaks.
Yeah, no breaks, just chilling.
Get the fuck out of here.
With David Lee Roth in some overalls for 2 hours. Did you see what he was wearing?
Is he looking normal? Or
yeah, he looks like a normal dude. He's got dark hair, slick back.
Van Halen, though?
But he's not wearing tight pants anymore. Now it's kind of baggy overalls.
Nah.
Like his pants are looser.
He's a homie now?
I don't know. Like he's a homie like
It ain't sagging, is it?
like 1992-ish. Like he looks like he might fit in okay in like a Naughty by Nature video.
Sam, check your phone. I sent you the photos. You can show Who Kid.
Get the fuck out of here. He was up here?
Yeah.
Fuck is he at?
I think he just finished recording Boneyard with Jimmy.
Because he made me like white people back in the days.
We were actually just talking to him about that black people liked Van Halen. Because he was influenced by urban music.
And their opening acts, they would purposely book to get the black crowd coming in there. Like Earth, Wind, and Fire, they had on right as they were about to break. They were the opening act for Van Halen.
Earth, Wind, and Fire was the opening act?
Yeah.
He said that?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. But I thought, I'm a racist guy, so...
I know.
He came out with Running with the Devil, so when that song came out, I decided to be white right there.
And black people, they don't like the devil.
I love the devil.
So
you can check my Instagram last night. I had a
oh my God!
He saw my
Clinton. Yeah, I did. Clinton, Alabama.
Hey, Slam and Sammy, what's going on? I just learned that Pat Duffy is, in fact, the Charlie Brown of radio shows. Every time Lucy puts the ball up,
Oh, yeah.
he tries to kick it.
Eric is propping that ball up for him, and then Pat Duffy shows up, and he's like, "Just kidding, Pat. Back on your ass." Did you feel bad that you did that to Pat Duffy? That
I
you
didn't do that to him.
You got his hopes up, and then you failed.
No, he begged the next time I was going to do something if he could come up. I said, sure. And then this happened.
Right. I mean, this is a guy who interned for us forever.
I saw him.
And just, you saw the tear in his eye, right?
It was like a whole crew of crying white people. man.
Exactly.
He wasn't crying, though.
No.
That was good.
You were fine because you're heartless.
Everybody wanted their shine. Everybody wanted to get their little shine on.
Right.
Get their props.
Isn't that a racist term?
Well,
get their shine on?
No, that means you want to get props. You want to get
but I couldn't call you...
If you called him a shine, that would be a problem.
Would you have a problem with that, Who Kid?
I'm lost. I'm white now, so what's a shine?
A shine? That's a racist term.
Is it?
Yeah, you didn't know about this?
What does that mean?
Oh, Who Kid, if you only knew, you're obviously not white. White people have so many terms for black people that you don't even know.
Shine, what does that mean?
It's like just like a black person.
For
Yeah. It
like a shoe shiner? Like
I guess. I don't know where it comes from. Do you know where it comes from, Eric? You're racist.
We learned it from Anthony, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's probably the only thing I hate that black people do is shine shoes.
You wish they wouldn't.
I hate that shit.
You're walking through Grand Central like...
I had to be white when I saw that. I was like, I'm going to be white forever. Running with the devil.
Speaking of whiteness, I was following you on Instagram like you were saying.
I told you, every daylight saving times you have to have a threesome.
I didn't know that.
I do it I don't do it twice, but I do it at least once a year. And I have these two girls that we always meet daylight saving times. We have crazy sex in front of my wife.
The Who Kid took a point of view shot of these two Asian girls in his bedroom.
One approved the threesome, as usual.
One of them approved it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have one approve it. One is ready to fuck.
Uh-huh.
But the other one was like, yo, if she don't fuck, then it ain't a threesome. And when she put her finger up, I was like, ugh.
Ugh. Right. So you had the threesome going on.
I did it for E-Rock.
You were taking pictures in memory of E-Rock's show that we lost.
I was like, ugh.
In memory of E-Rock's stillborn show. Your show truly was an abortion of a show this weekend, E-Rock.
No, because it didn't go on the air to be an abortion.
Right, we killed it before it was born. It was an abortion. You know what I'm saying?
That's not true.
Well, yes, it is.
No, it was not scheduled to happen.
Yeah, but then it was, I know, but, it was like a surprise baby, and then you're like, fuck, let's get that taken care of before it comes out.
But you know what's crazy? Roland, I mean, I heard on the grapevine that Jay-Z's people that own Ace of Spades heard the show.
What's Ace of Spades?
It's Jay-Z's.
He owns the card now?
No.
The Ace of Spades. He owns everything.
Some nigga shit. He owns like some champagne, like it's like some expensive bubbly. You know what I'm saying? But
so he jacks up the price because he's actually trying to keep black people away from his drinks now.
So he's Obama's man.
Yeah.
He can do that shit, man.
Yeah.
He's a nigga. But other than that, I hear that Jay might come up here because of that cooking show.
What?
Yeah.
To do the cooking
in the
show?
grapevine. I got a text because, I was very ignorant and ratchet when I came on.
Right. And ratchet is...
I know those people over there. And
you do?
Jay-Z was kind of happy with the show, and Jay might come up here for that.
Oh, my God. If you get Jay-Z up here, I'd be the
Illuminati?
happiest boy there is. I love Jay-Z.
What?
Yeah. You got to love Jay. If he's a
gold, you got to get real gold and chip it and put it on a chicken just for him.
That's what he eats.
That's it.
Him and Donald Trump. Only people with gold banisters on their stairs. Why have the gold banisters? All you're going to do is get fingerprints all over.
I don't know. Mike Tyson started that shit.
Having gold banisters?
Gold all over because, 50 bought the mansion. It was gold everywhere.
Yeah, but Mike Tyson had to sell it, though, because he lost all his cash, right?
Yeah, that's what. It was gold everywhere.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
He's like Trinidad James. All gold, everything. I remember Mike Tyson's MTV Cribs. I knew that Mike Tyson was now being just really wasteful because not only did he have gold everything, but then he had like every X-Men action figure ever made. Like he had tables and it was full of X-Men toys. And when I was like 13 and watching Mike Tyson on MTV Cribs, I was like, that's the shit, son. Yes. Yes.
You're so white right now. But other than that,
so are you, though.
Yeah, I was white too. But he OD'd, though. He bought every girlfriend a car or multiple cars. He bought their mothers a car.
Oh, Roland said if you run to the lobby, you get a David Lee Roth picture.
Yo, I'm out of here, nigga.
All right, peace.